eyelids, girl. Hey.
Hello, good morning, Kindred, and welcome to Season 2 of Vegas by Night. Mayday Roleplay's Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. We are so excited to be back, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back with us. I just want to personally thank everyone for being here. You could choose to be anywhere else, but you choose to be here with us, and that is a remarkable feeling. It's a remarkable feeling to be back for Season 2, and welcome to the table. Grab a blood bag, hug your ghoul, and remember that the best thing we can do for each other is include ourselves in each other's stories. If you're not familiar with Season 1 of Vegas by Night, don't fear. You can still check it out on Spotify, Twitch VOD, and our YouTube channel as of right now. If you're wondering how you can get more Mayday in your life, you can catch our stream here every other Saturday for our main show, and on all other platforms for everything else. We're all over the place. The Discord is really where we've had the chance to build a great little family around the content we've put out, though. If you're not already in our Discord, we have patrons running some incredible games out of the community, and members of Mayday themselves have been inviting our Discord members into tables on a monthly basis for Mayday Ran one-shots. So if you've ever wanted an opportunity to play with one or two of us at a table, your best shot is to join our Discord and get in on those games. If you're a fan of Vegas by Night, we have 3 one-on-one sessions we've recorded this summer that are coming at you. Now, Raguel's summer vacation and a one-on-one with our newest coterie member are on the horizon, so keep a lookout. Those should be coming out in the next few weeks. We'd like to give a shout out as well to our handler level Patreon contributors. It's because of their involvement in our content that we can begin thinking of all the big picture ideas we have for Mayday. One that we just had a few seconds ago was we're getting catheters installed for all of us so we do not have to get up to pee during streams. If you see during our streams at all catheter alert, just know that one or multiple of us are peeing at that moment. Other than that, please check out our Delta Green campaign, Doomed to Repeat, that's returning for our 3rd season. It's ongoing now. It's some of our best work. I'm so proud of what we put forward for that. Our special presentation of Black Project Gaming's run of God's Teeth in Delta Green is still going, and it's arguably one of the best things that we've hosted on our channel. It's so very good. I need you to go check out what Vince has been doing. It's really beautiful. And the rest of our lovely back catalog of campaigns, all of which are available on all major podcasting platforms, YouTube and Twitch. Before we get started today, I just want to remind everyone that Vampire the Masquerade can be a dark setting, and as such, there are content warnings for any watching. Please be advised that there may be violent themes, plenty of adult language, and the exploration of darker subjects. Please take care of yourself and be aware. Take special care of this episode for hoarding, filth, implied neglect of children, body horror, and cults. I'm also going to talk a lot of shit about a person who lived, but most of it's true, I think. Who knows? Anyways, let's get started. Humanity was cursed, and in that curse there were some who sought to sleep past the world's troubles. The longest of us have held this curse for more than any mortal can understand. Time for them is finite and granular, sand, while for us it flows like water. And as we let the river take us, it can become tedious and unchanging, or even worse, it can become tumultuous and dangerous. For some, then, the only option becomes the sleep of the ages, a call that precedes the beckoning, usually reserved for the elders of our curse. Kindred, unable to Kindred, unable to rectify with the mistakes of this generation, or their own maiden efforts against it. To save themselves, many elect for a time more receiving to a god of their stature. They put themselves to sleep in that death that is torpor, and wait out the world for something new, something that calls to them. But while that sleep is long, arduous, and quiet in the inky blackness of their dead minds, there is always a reason to rise. One day, through the faults of fate, someone will inch back the stone over the coffin and mistake their slumber for funeral, only to discover what they have awakened. Humanity was cursed, and in that curse formed a being believing itself more important than the hourglass. You will convince yourself in time that anything can be left, that all of your problems can be erased and you can start again. You'll have decided that for you, there are second chances, and third, fourth, until everything that you were was dead, and you live only as a museum piece of a world that no longer breathes, and a place where no one knew you when you still had a heart that beats. And then you will know what true loneliness does to the beast that still rattles in your corpse. There is no second chance for you to get it right. You will never find the answer. You will try again, and in each new venture, you will bury more of the parts of you that cared. You have made a fatal mistake in believing that because your curse makes you strong and makes you capable, it only makes you careless. We will kill the last memories. We will kill the moments that mattered past the present. We will kill our darlings. Welcome to Vegas by Night. I'd like to introduce to all of you our cast. I'm Caleb James Miller. I'll be playing your storyteller tonight.
I'm Amanda, and I'm playing Jackie Santana.
I'm Eli, and I'm playing Niles Ames.
I'm Lev, and I'm playing Mal.
I'm Sergio, and I'm playing John Burrows.
I'm Vince, and I will be playing Raguel.
I'm Zach, and I'm playing Sybil Geier.
Beautiful. Welcome back to the N-Gen. We're getting started yet again. Maybe not the newest generation anymore. Maybe we'll have learned something this time around. Or maybe we will end in the same way we did last season, with a fiery exit. But before we get started in what has happened in the nebulous amount of time that has passed from season 1's finale to now, we will discuss a little bit. Does anyone have anything to declare that they've changed on their sheets that they'd like everyone listening to hear? Maybe you've added new disciplines that you'd like everyone to know about, or shifted your character around to a new vision. This is now your time if you'd like to speak up and let us know.
I'll explore that in-game.
Beautiful. Okay, it looks like we're keeping our cards close to our vest. I know that some of you are lying, so I guess we'll see as the time comes. With that being said, I'm a teacher in my regular day. I might as well be a teacher here. It's now to discuss what we all did with our summer vacations. We are going to go through one by one, seeing how everyone has got up to since the season has passed. We are existing in a nebulous amount of time. Vegas, vampires, and the curse never truly have any dialed down dates, but we're working in a nebulous amount of a month and a half, 2 months, towards the end of summer vacation here. And we're going to pick up first with Sybil. Sybil, a lot of things happened for you in our first season. We saw heights, we saw lows, we saw you take on your first ward and lose them, unfortunately, very quickly to the spirits of Lake Mead. But Sybil has persisted since. I want to know, where is it that Sybil has been spending their time? What have they been doing with this time off? What changes have been made for Sybil while we were away?
The girl bossing has continued and will continue and will never stop.
Of course.
Just gonna open that. I'd like that to be the first thing I say in season 2.
Good.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. They have started a business in an effort to secure feeding for themselves and for some others, mostly through generous but ambiguous donations of blood bags. They have some new property in Naked City and maybe a little closer to the Strip for them to operate said business, or mostly just to have as a backup in case things get really fun as they have in the past. I don't know how much detail we want to go into.
As much as you want to share here.
Yeah, I think that's it. They continue to be with the circulatory system and have used that as a wonderful networking opportunity.
Beautiful. There is one other thing that Sybil got up to this summer that is very important to the rest of you. Sybil, you took a meeting with a very important group of people. Sybil elected, after the blood hunt of last season and the horrible situation that left Engine in a place very precarious in nature, where somehow, against all odds, we convinced the sheriff of the Camarilla to agree that they would find nothing at Lake Mead, and essentially report back that it was a false alarm given by our beloved and now deceased Kingsters, which brought on a blood hunt calling for the two former members of our coterie that resulted in one of their deaths, final deaths, and the other, who knows, MIA for all that we understand. But that left the rest of you in a very harmful situation of being co-conspirators, or at least standing directly next to the two people that everyone was trying to kill. And it calls into question whether all of you can be trusted. In an effort to rectify this situation, Sybil, you decided to approach Elysium with an opportunity to bring Engine at least back to neutrality, and at best, back into the loving arms of the Ivory Tower. Sybil, we're going to go there now. You're standing at the foot of the Echelon Casino, still in construction, although over the summer there has been some new developments as they begin working on more and more of the floors that cascade up into the skyline of Las Vegas. And you are left to climb those steps. The first time we appeared here at the Echelon, you were navigated by Santos, the Bruja Primogen within Las Vegas. There is no such escort this time, only a time and place given to you, Sybil, and it was gracious enough that you even received that invitation. There were moves in the background between you and Slow, the Toreador Primogen and harpy of this this Camarilla, this city, who conspired with you, as well with the Nosferatu Primogen Bugsy, to get you this meeting to begin with. How are you feeling at the base of the Echelon, feeling the cold wind of Las Vegas whip against you in late August here? The moon is high in the sky and the neon is pushing out along the strip in the skyline behind this construction fencing that keeps you inside. Where's Sybil's head at?
Sybil is trying to keep it as cool as possible. They are shaking a little bit, just a little around the fingertips. They have practiced this again and again, and it seems right every single time, but surprises happen, and there's that anxious energy of just wanting to kick the door open and scream what she wants to say, and that has never been how these games are played, so she's just trying to relax.
There are those many, many steps up the Echelon's endless staircase until you reach the gates to Elysium, essentially. You cascade across what is that transparent glass walkway from the center of the penthouse floor of this unfinished casino, and you begin floating high above this tower. Looking down, you can see the black ichor, the gas, the empty air of the many, many flights below you as you step out onto that paned glass that makes up the walkway to that first door. And you are uniquely aware that should this glass decide to go out now, you'll be falling many, many floors. Who knows whether you would survive or if it would be your final death. But the thought is present. And then through the doorway into Elysium here, where the dark club atmosphere is only illuminated by these beautiful red, blue, and white crosses and religious iconography that lines the intersection of this club. The booths along the sides are canopied out and host a lot of the same people that appeared in the first visit to Elysium. But you notice that most of these booths are empty. The blood dolls are not out to play, besides a few circulating around the edge by the bar itself where Prince Grant once sat in the very furthest portion of the cross intersection. None of the lower vampires are out to play. In fact, it feels a lot like a club after closing time. Only the folks on the board are here tonight. And it seems as though they are all ready and in attendance. You step forward. Is there anything you'd like to do as you're coming into this space, as you're in the club itself? You can see that there is this half dome of people, this half circle of people that have congregated behind Prince Grant's desk and booth in the back there. But outside of that, it doesn't seem like anyone else is here.
I think she's looking directly for Slow and Bugsy if they are there. Also Emmerich, looking for faces that she's very, very familiar with to also kind of get a vibe check on them. Like, are you with me or are you in like Primogen mode?
You step in, and where usually the lo-fi music of this place at least gives a hum, a heartbeat to the dead inside. Without music, it is so much louder. With each footstep, you can hear each clack of, I'm guessing, some girl boss heels.
Correct.
Yeah. So the clack of your heels, is a Kamala Harris warning down the hallway here. As you step through and you crack through each step of this elevated surface that runs the center cross and then layers down into the booths themselves. You do find that Slow is here and in attendance around in that half circle. Slow is at the center. And then on either side are the Tremere twins, Eno and Aiko, the Korean twins, of which I believe really only the Kingsters got a chance to speak with last season. Next to Eno is Dharma, which, if you remember, is the Nosferatu second in command, the woman who wears that Medusa-like mask over her face and wears those gauzy white drapings over the lesioned skin of her body. On the other side, by Aiko, is Cisco, the sheriff of Las Vegas, small buzz-cut frame, 5'2", 5'3", with this massive greatsword on their back, and a big coat, smiley face embroidered into their kneecaps on the pants they're wearing there, and an unsmiley face in their expression, intimidating in their small frame, dangerous at all times. And also, the only reason you're in this room. Opposite from that side next to Dharma is a man you don't recognize. Not anyone you've seen around Las Vegas. Beautiful, long black-brown hair, chocolate-brown hair that comes down to his shoulders. It is either greased or gelled to a point where there are these artificial curls put through, and they're slicked to his head. Almost like a UFC fighter who's about to walk into the octagon and does not want anyone to grab his hair. He has this very large, trimmed black beard that sits out in front of him, and then very prominent eyebrows. You imagine him to be of Middle Eastern descent. He is wearing a full tactical vest with two incendiary devices, you would guess, grenades of some like, right there on the center of him. And then strapped around his back is this very imposing AR-17 type assault rifle. He's jackbooted up and very imposing, maybe 6'4", 6'5". And that is the entirety of everyone who has come to Elysium to hear whether you're worth keeping. Prince Grant is not in attendance.
Okay.
Emmerich is not in attendance. Bugsy is not in attendance, but you know that to be the norm of Elysium.
Okay.
There are some missing pieces.
Okay. Then Sybil just approaches the group a good enough distance, trying to get like courtroom staging in this like empty club atmosphere, so being a little distance from everyone, not quite joining the group. But just says, hello, thank you all for coming today and for inviting me here.
There is some general discussion you can tell taking into place. It is very much a court-like setting where you have been brought here as plaintiff, essentially. But there is gossip being shared the second that you speak up and you step forward, especially between the twins who sort of speak behind Slow for a moment. But Slow measures his eyes onto you, and they are very kind. Slow is that waspish, Bowie-looking individual in those multicolored robes that are sort of cascaded over himself, always in this couture fashion, sort of hunched over in his tall, small frame. But even here, he has this wiry kind of smile about himself as you introduce yourself in pity to the court. And he speaks up and says, Sybil, you have come at the time that we have just finished our revelry and prepared ourselves to hear what it is you have to say. So please do not thank us. We would be here anyways. To hear you is only to consider that you have something worthy to say. Consider this tonight's entertainment, yes? And he looks to the others, and the others sort of laugh, and some of them reach over and they clink glasses to each other with this very fresh pourings of blood into martini glasses. The blood dolls circulating around Slow have kept them basically IV tubed into the martini glasses themselves so that they have some semblance of drinking at the club. It seems largely that Slow is in charge here. It doesn't seem as though the others are here more anything than to hear, to listen, to respond, but Slow seems to be moving things forward. He speaks, when you initially approached the prince with this opportunity to be heard, to share your side of the story, I must admit that Prince Grant was not excited to hear. He believes there was a grand slight from this new generation, from this group, that all of you took into your own hands to deceive this beautiful tower and all that it had deigned to give you when you first came here. But when it was learned that these two miscreants, those the victims of the blood hunt, were indeed made liars, there was a sliver of hope in the kind golden eyes of our prince. And in that sliver, you and all your friends live. I would hear what it is you have to offer in the way of your group's innocence. I would hear why it is that the watchdogs were in Lake Mead to begin with, if there were indeed nothing for the prince to find there. And then finally, if you all would like to continue to enjoy your undeath as you seem fit to do, I would hear what it is you offer as a mea culpa to this, our ivory tower.
Of course. Well, I would like to start off by saying that the new generation acknowledges that the boy who cried wolf was rather unfortunate, and that you can expect no further cries. And of course, by extension, no further wolves. What we were doing in Lake Mead, interesting and wonderful question, thank you, was doing what our coterie has been tasked to do, maintaining the territory of the prince in all forms, not just the strip or Naked City, but the extended parts as well. As we all know, I am a Gangrel, and that tends to favor the desert, not the city. as much. And we were just covering our bases. This experiment that we have that makes this coterie is something that I know that all of you have observed, that all of you have spent your wealth of intelligence investigating independently, and we are grateful for your surveillance, guidance, and mercy. You have seen us stumble like a newborn foal, and you have also seen us steady ourselves this past summer in the quiet that we have chosen to take before this meeting today.
It is a very good thing, this quiet. You have proven, at least in this time, that you have the capability of sitting still. It was called into question.
Of course. We have learned much in our first few months in steadiness and silence.
Is very good. You have been given an opportunity to learn much more than most. Usually it is on the second mistake that the final lesson is given. But it seems as though you all are worthy of many. There is some indication, though, that you were operating under your directive. In that regard, I'm going to have to ask our great sheriff, Cisco, do you see that this is in line? These were hired as watchdogs, yes, to keep the supernatural at bay, though they speak to none of. What do you have to say? And Cisco sort of rights their shoulders up and adjusts the sheath of the sword across their chests. And they speak to you directly, Sybil, and they say, do you have any proof whatsoever that the lead that you were investigating into Lake Mead was one of a supernatural nature? Because if you cannot provide some proof that you are doing your job, there's no reason to let you keep doing it.
Of course. We were investigating, or one of the first tasks that we'd received as a coterie was returning a piece of, if I may be frank, I think this is part of me. It's also somewhat out of character asking if I can just refer to the disc without incriminating us.
Go ahead. This will start a series of rolls we're going to take. I want you to make a wits plus politics roll.
Okay.
Yeah. Politics or insight. Wits plus politics or insight, whichever you have the higher pool.
Wits plus politics. Okay, lovely. That is 4 successes.
Sybil, the boss is not here. He didn't deign to meet you. The folks who are speaking as though they do not have an awareness of what it is you were doing in Lake Mead to begin with, just that nothing was found. And Cisco even is offering to declare the supernatural, not what Cisco already knows.
Okay, great. Okay, so we were investigating a strange supernatural occurrence in the desert that led us to Lake Mead, some sort of ritual that affected not only myself, but another Gangrel in our party.
I see. Can you speak to the nature of this supernatural force? Or is it to be kept behind locked doors, which I will warn you may not be good for your public image? There's a little bit of laughter that cascades across the Elysium.
Sybil does a horribly thin laugh along with them. Yes, we didn't investigate it much because we were already on an assignment from the prince, but there was a triangle of some of you were of that witches dancing in the forest era. It looked like that, but everyone was in white, and there was some sort of bestial forms that we had already witnessed. It wasn't just kindred or humanoid.
Okay, let's see how we're doing on our first sort of foray into the willpower battle here. Could you give me willpower battle? give me a manipulation plus subterfuge, because we are lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl boss it.
Okay, I'm going to spend a willpower.
Yeah. So willpower will let you re-roll 3 dice that are not hunger.
Yes.
Make sure the ones you're re-rolling are not your red guys.
Excellent. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. Slow speaks up. Yes, there are rumblings that there are issues among the tribes of the Red Rocks and some of their people going missing. It would corroborate what you are telling here, should they be arriving in all forms around the perimeter of the city. If they were spotted out by Lake Mead, obviously this is something to consider. And I, at least, accept this for what you say. I think then, the final conversation. You come to Elysium. We are gracious enough to hear you with your head still attached to your neck. We have not hunted your friends like dogs, though we have plenty of the right to do so. One of them more of a breach than the rest of you, which is truly saying something with the company that you keep. We have been more than kind to your existence, and now it is time to step out from the cocoon, to decide for yourself what it is you offer to the tower, and decide whether it is that we allow you. What do you have on offer?
We, as a coterie, offer the extension of the completion of our first task, which was finding a portion of a very important artifact for the prince. We'd like to guarantee the finding of the second half of that artifact and investigating. Another question, can I talk about Kerr? Because I want to talk about how we're going to find Kerr. But
go ahead and give me another wits plus insight.
Great.
Not letting us off easy. Just giving us anything.
Hell yeah.
Gotta work for it.
4 successes.
You believe that you can discuss Kerr in context of his involvement at the Hecata Mansion, but something in your gut, the beast in you, keep the key to yourself. Keep the key to yourself. Keep the key to yourself. That part of you that your sire burned into you, that T gave you, always reminds you to keep the manila folder inside the desk, not on top of it. So
Yes.
there is a modicum you can say, but be careful where you dance.
Okay. Yes, then we hope to investigate the events occurring in the desert and how they are related to the missing half of this artifact that the prince has tasked us with finding. We would like to return what we have been asked to do with interest.
There is a moment where you feel the rush of air before you actually are aware that the person is behind you. But in that moment, there is a hand on the back of your left shoulder as this taller form is now standing next to you. 6'2", very pale, redheaded, with these mass of freckles along his face, his hands, everything about him. You recognize him as the Ventru Primogen Lucius, who we met very briefly speaking with the prince last season. His hand on your left shoulder, he golf claps for a moment in front of everyone and says, "God, this one could talk to any court, couldn't she? She's got the corporate speak down. I'm surprised you're not one of me."
It's been discussed.
Now, I truly hear what you're saying here, and I think the rest of us are entertaining what she's offering. Yes, there's some general agreements across the Elysium. Slow has not moved his face; he's dagger-eyed on Lucius. And Lucia speaks up, but there is a hitch in this little used car salesman pitch, Sybil, unfortunately. And I don't mean to be the guy that wants to crack on negotiations. I want to get a deal, right? I want to shake hands at the end of this. I want to know that you and I are walking out of here both disappointed, because that's every great compromise, right, kid?
Exactly.
And so he wheels about and he gets so that he's just an inch off of you, right? We can all agree on that, right? He speaks back to the Elysian. Comes back to you. You see, when our lovely Sheriff Cisco, and Cisco kind of rolls their eyes, clearly them having an antagonistic, or at least playfully antagonistic relationship here, was pulled away to deal with these, I hate to say, but miscreants, the little leftovers of your sires that have decided truly to run amok among our tower because we pulled you out of some coffins in Colorado. You see, they were working on something for me. And as a result of that, my hosting of the echelon here, the construction of which has been slowed, I would say, oh God, dramatically. And, you know, I don't want to get down to emotional damages, can you prove loss of income sort of thing. But, babe, I can prove loss of income. So, what I'm proposing to tack on to this, you go, you find that artifact. That's all well and good. But, in addition, you're going to owe myself and the echelon a major boon for delay of business.
This major boon is the coterie's boon to the echelon, just for clarity's sake.
Yeah, let's call it a little thank you gift for getting to keep your heads.
Sybil thinks about, is visualizing the last time she really felt like she was in the coterie, and it was the time that Burrows ripped somebody's balls off. You know, I think that'll do just fine.
Good.
One major boon.
And he looks to Slow and he says, well then, let's call that capitalism, baby. I feel much better about the situation. I would say that I've been righted where I was wronged. I think we're good to move forward here. Whatever you would like, Slow. And he gives sort of a half bow and now goes to join the sort of council back there. And Slow speaks up, looks at you, gives a long, long pause. And before he speaks, let's get one final roll to decide whether the engine will be brought back into the folds of the Camarilla at a very preliminary don't fuck up basis. Okay. Let's give, what are we feeling here? I'm feeling manipulation plus politics.
That works for me. Yeah, manipulation, politics.
And go ahead and roll, and then we'll see what the coffin has to say.
I'm gonna spend a willpower. That's 2 down so far. Hold on.
How you doing? Just remember, you can only spend 1 willpower to reroll. You could rouse the blood to give yourself a little extra die in the pool.
Okay, so
you can blood surge.
No, it's fine. That was a pool of 5 dice.
Okay.
My blood dice succeeded.
Beautiful.
2 of my regular dice success, so I believe that's 4 successes. That's 6 successes total.
6 successes total. Wow.
Yes. 2 of these kids for the folks.
Oh, okay. You got a crit.
And then 2 of these kids.
Oh man. Okay. Beautiful. That's
with the spent willpower.
Okay, so we're gonna do our first little coffin roll of the session here to decide the engine here. Let's see if we get to go back to our good graces.
Okay. Just thinking.
Nice seeing you guys.
You said of the session, not of the season, but of the session.
Correct.
It's been a long summer.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same
Slow goes to speak. Those strange green amber eyes studying on you, so large on his face, gives him almost an alien quality. And just before saying anything, he stops, closes his mouth, he claps his hands together. He looks over to that stranger in the tack vest with that AR-17 around his back there. AR-15, whatever assault rifles are.
15.
15, thank you. I think I said 17 earlier too.
You
I
did.
meant 15. The new AR-17, strapped around his back, and comes back to it, and there is this silent conversation between those two. And then the other individual, jackbooted with that gun across his waist, walks out through a secondary door down the intersection. And just as he slams the door behind him, there's a level of distaste in what he's just done. It returns back to Slow. Slow measures you, Sybil meets your eyes. Consider yourselves under the very watchful eye of Sheriff Sisko, reinstated as watchmen at the very preliminary level. You are to be in a state of parole, we would call it, in an effort to ensure that your coterie is acting correctly. And as such, the prince has given directive to have you all watched carefully. Consider that in the future deliberations, so that when you go to Lake Mead, know that we go too.
Of course.
Thank you. Enjoy Elysium. Feel free to dine of our blood dolls, and stay for as long as you like, Sybil. Thank you. And Elysium breaks forward, breaks up. They segment off into these corners. They go off to their usual partners, leaving you standing empty in the center of this cross-section bar. And the lo-fi music begins to bleed back into the room. And you seem to have gotten what you came here for. Is there anything else you'd like to do here, Sybil?
Sybil stands there for like 5 minutes, just breathing. She doesn't have to do. I think she turns, and has never felt more human. She instinctively turns to one of the blood dolls, and does like a whew, and then remembers who she is, and that blood doll is probably thinking that she wants to feed from them instead, and bristles and leaves.
As you step out that door back onto the glass walkway, you look to the right and you see this sea of neon, the stars overhead and the meadows that you now call home. And you see off into the distance the building where you now house your office. And you have this understanding that leaving here, you've repaired something, sutured a wound, and you're taking the first step to a skyline you can call yours.
Yeah.
Good work.
Whew. Yeah, she texts the coterie, we need to meet right now. You can feel the panic immediately. And then she walks off into the neon.
You all receive a series of texts in the group chat confirming that you are still Camarilla bound if you want to be. And we move to John Burrows, our boy. I'd like to know, Burrows, it was a very chaotic first season for you. You ate a lot of food in Las Vegas. You introduced yourself to a lot of mortals. Got a little wrapped up in the fuck you clique. Tortured your stepson a little. And found a lot of room for growth. Working hard to bring about the midnight gospel, the midnight mass, but not yet seeding those qualities yet. Tell us a little bit, Burrows, what has summer been like? What do you got going? What has changed for you?
Well, in contrast to Sybil's very kind of sobering and kind of intense meeting, probably the first image of Burrows is driving Baby Blue, his open Cadillac, blasting some Destiny's Child, probably I'm a Survivor, and he's like singing along to it. And it's in complete contrast to Sybil. And he's just kind of going about his business. The last couple of months, or how long it's been during our summer break, there's been a lot of trying to move the needle forward on the Midnight Gospel, like you mentioned. He thinks he's got a new prospective preacher, a man named JT Dollar. That is his preacher name, and he is a kind of over-the-top, grandiose guy that I think Burrows realized that he's looking for.
Right.
And so he's kind of in the initial phase of talking with him. Burrows has changed physically a good deal. Whereas before he had a big old gut thanks to Lotta of the Mire and his interaction with her, he is now much thinner. He's lost that gut. And it almost seems like it's gone to his head in a way. His printed red shirt that he would normally wear, big and boxy, has now been replaced by the exact same print and color, but it's much more form-fitting. It's much more like an Ed Hardy style kind of outfit. His hair is noticeably blonder than it ever was before. And I think the coterie probably puts together in these months that he was probably putting like shoe polish in his hair to make it darker than it really was. But now that's gone, and now the hair, instead of just kind of being wild and crazy, is coiffed. His kind of gnarly beard has been trimmed down to something very fashionable. And you really get a divorced dad vibe from Burrows these days. He's
getting
trying very hard. Yeah,
a midsummer crisis from Burrows. I love it.
Yeah, pretty much like an undeath crisis. He's been spending a lot of time with the Anarchs, getting to know them, getting to know Ellis, and ingratiating himself with them. And I think when he gets that text from Sybil about, the towers looking at us favorably, he kind of rolls his eyes and doesn't really pay much mind to it. He doesn't feel like I don't think he understands the gravity that they were all in, the amount of danger they could have been in, and he thinks he's home free now with the new group. But I think kind of the last image of him before we continue is, the music, he turns the music down in Baby Blue and he pulls up to that same little like CVS or little rinky-dink store that his woman that he takes care of. I'm looking at her name now because I swear Burrows knows it, but I've completely forgotten what her name is.
Is it Casey or Lydia?
It's Lydia. So Lydia is still at the same place in that window, similar to the first time we saw her, kind of sadly. But instead of kind of honking for her, instead of going to go see her, he holds back and he reminds himself when he sees her that he's not interacting with her for a reason, for her own protection, to keep someone else away from her. And it breaks him up because he's also doing it with his girl Casey, and he's having a hard time having to stay away from his family, but he does it because he hasn't solved this problem of Champagne Puttanesca yet. So
Champagne Puttanesca.
He just kind of drives on past and doesn't say hi to her.
You look in, and there she is, bagging the last customer of the night before the late shift ends. And you've done this routine so many times of waiting until the last second she clocks out, and then she'd hop in the side seat. You'd take her for a drive, and she'd complain about how fast you drive, and it would only make you drive faster. But this time, there's this awareness that what you are closes doors to what she will always be. And this door really is closing for you. And as Destiny's Child starts to drown out in the radio, and it starts to switch on to something new, you pull yourself out of the driveway and drive out from that parking lot, and you swear just for a moment you think you can see some Italian men in suits standing at the corner of that CVS, and you shake your head and hope to God you're just seeing things. You're just paranoid, but God, who knows? There is one other thing that you accomplished this summer, Burrows, or at least you wanted to. Do you want to tell the group here what the plan is? Paint me a picture of how this begins.
Yeah, I think, when we ended the last arc, Burrows realized it was important that his coterie come to understand who has been kind of guiding him before he was let out. And he really wants everyone to meet Double H. So I think he'll probably, send a group text or rile them all together and have them all pile into Baby Blue and come meet
HH.
Double H, yeah.
Perfect. I'm assuming Raguel, Sybil, Mal, Niles, we all accept this opportunity?
If I'm around.
Raguel, you are absolutely around, and we will get to your awareness, but you can assume that at this time you have returned.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a long summer for you.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. The weather's different, but you're here, for sure.
Weather's different.
Yeah.
I've been places, man.
So you all pack into Baby Blue, and anyone who can't fit Baby Blue, maybe Niles is on their bike. Is there any conversation before this road trip takes off? You all meet in a parking lot somewhere, maybe at Club Canaan, which used to be Lucky's, our little abandoned club, or maybe at the church that Mal has been renovating all summer, where hopefully the Midnight Gospels will take place. Who knows? Where is this? Is there conversation, or do we all just take out into the night silent?
Well, all I gotta say is a little warning for everybody. Just whatever you do, don't look Double H in the eyes. He doesn't really like that. And I know this is obnoxious, and I'm looking directly in Mal's direction, but don't speak unless you're spoken to. It's just gonna be a lot quicker that way. I know.
Okay.
Just be cool, babies. It's gonna be nice and easy, and I think you'll come to find him interesting and maybe useful at some point.
But we can't talk to him or look at him.
He's gonna address you. He's gonna have questions. He always does.
This is normal.
Yeah, just remember the main focus of this thing is I need a new samurai sword.
I mean, there's a bunch of shops on the strip. Just go down to the strip.
But that's fake crap. I need the real thing from him, especially if I'm gonna meet swords with old CP. Champagne.
I don't think we should call it that.
Yeah, I'll realize as soon as I said it was a bad idea.
Is you're meeting swords.
I was just gonna leave you to your business, but that's fine.
Give me 1 second. My headphones have gone out.
It's all right. We'll just talk amongst ourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. Get to know the coterie.
Why is this man the supplier of samurai swords? Is it just one sword you're after?
He gave me the first one. It was a great quality, I could tell. And I just want to go back to the source, okay? If I go somewhere else, it's going to be cheaply made. Knowing Double H is probably a straight-up Japanese swordsmith, you know what I mean?
This is important to you, Burrows.
It's important for me to keep my family alive. Yeah, you've been out of it for a little while, but old Champagne Pudanesca's I think he's taken a liking to me, and I need to sort that out before I get too close.
That's what happens when you cross swords with someone, John.
You did leave your last sword in his face.
Yes, I did, but I didn't have enough time to pull it out.
Mal is in the background cackling.
But like old Arthur and his knights, I'm going to pull that sword out and get it back. I just needed one in the interim.
Because you're the king, baby.
Exactly.
King Arthur there leads the journey in Baby Blue with Niles trailing behind on that big chopper. Niles, has the bike improved at all this summer? Have you done anything to fix that thing up? Is it souped up?
No, it's about the same. Just trying to keep it as maintained as possible between Mal riding the other one. But at least this one is not very scratched.
The other one is scuffed to fuck. It is very, very ugly now.
Fair enough. Niles, do we have air support on this little road trip, or are we keeping the bird at bay?
We don't. The bird is at home.
I guess we'll figure out why that is in a second here. We drive out to south of Sloan, out into the boonies, and eventually, excuse me, I'm coughing so much today. I don't know what it is. Eventually, Burrows takes you off the beaten path and down into the desert, where you're beyond confused as to where you're going. It gets tough. At one point, it becomes too much for Baby Blue, and you all have to pile out and go out on foot. But Burrows shows you an old spot along the side of this path that he must have memorized the whole way through. And you can see the tire tracks where obviously Burrows has parked here before. And Burrows, it might be a little tougher for you. It's been a couple months since you've been here. But I think that there is that remembrance of the trauma associated to this place that it'd be a little hard to forget, too. Is there anything along the way, Burrows, you're thinking, you're feeling, you're saying as you're retreading this path you've done maybe 1,000 times?
Yeah, I think if anything, he's probably distracting himself, and when he's talking to the coterie, he's probably pointing out that there's a ranch nearby. I keep my good friend Traveler there. Maybe one of these days we can come by and meet him. It's a horse, by the way. It's not some person.
I was about to ask what species Traveler was, so thank you for clarifying.
Equus, I don't know what the whole science name
That's
is, but
enough. It's a horse. You're fine.
yeah, I think he's mostly just bullshitting the whole way.
Got it. Burrows, did you bring anything for HH? Is there any stop along the way? Anything as a gift, maybe?
Anybody got a gift?
Sybil just pulls it. Just kidding. I don't keep a gift. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I would have remembered something. I'm gonna. Oh my god! What do I do?
If you like, we can make a roll for it. See if you remembered.
Take him your little
roll.
badge. Take him your little badge.
Shoe polish.
Go ahead and give me a wits plus insight. I think that makes sense here.
Wits plus.
Or actually, you have a mala, right? Don't you have a mala as a merit?
Yeah.
Roll wits plus your mala
Okay.
dots.
So, 3 successes, one of them on a hunger die.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough to remember what you usually bring him.
Ren did suggest that we bring a harpoon as a gift, so thank you, Ren.
So you'll remember, Burrows, as you ask everyone else if they have a gift to maybe put on top of these. But in the passenger side, who would be sitting passenger next to Burrows?
Mal is pointedly as far away from Raguel as they can be, so...
So maybe you're in the front and Raguel is in the back there. So Mal, you'll notice that your seat is a little uncomfortable on the way there, as by your feet and sort of around your lap, sort of piled up, are 6 gallons of banana nut ice cream that are starting to melt at the foot of your ankles, basically.
Mal, tries to find some kind of snarky thing to say about banana nut and, finds too many of them and gets stalled on which one to say, so they just kind of go wet. And then
I think
it's melting.
Burrows would probably have a couple of sacks to put those in, and he's, lugging them through the desert.
There you go, yeah. You put them onto your back there. You've got these Vaughn's bags you're keeping them in, and you guys march off treading these footsteps into the desert. It's maybe another 35 minutes walking before you arrive at the destination. To which, Burrows, how much of a navigator do you think you are? Do you think you find it the first time through?
I mean, if we're calling into question that it's been a couple of months, I might need a roll to confirm it.
Okay,
I'm not quite a survivalist, but...
Let's give a wits plus survival to see if Burrows doesn't get you guys lost at midnight.
Okay.
The pitch blackness.
2 die, being my hunger die. Let's see how we do. 2 successes.
Hell
on my
yeah.
hunger die.
It only takes one little whip around of Burrows going, I think this is it. Maybe? No? Oh, yeah. And then eventually you do find this outcropping of 4 rocks that beat into this massive red rock wall in the back there. These beautiful landscapes of nighttime Vegas out here in the no man's land, where you see this defining cactus that sits in the center of 4 rocks, and you know that's where the shelter sits. Moving through, you stand in the center of those 4 rocks, and you brush across the layer of dust right by that cactus and reveal this very large, maybe 2-person wide square, essentially, of a fallout shelter hatch entrance, essentially. It almost looks like a missile silo sitting out of the middle of the desert there.
All right, everyone. I'm going to press the button. Everybody on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll press it, start heading down.
Yeah, the button presses through. You have to enter in a keypad code at this little hatch access spot there. And then the hatch itself shoots open and decompresses, and then it opens itself. And there is this massive ladder that extends down, and you know it for real, Burrows. This thing has been the bane of your existence since you died. It's a damn long ladder that's going to take you maybe 120 feet down into the earth.
I try to be courteous and make sure that, like, I let everyone in first, and then I go last. But the problem is, with all the melting ice cream, there's now drips of ice cream hitting everyone as we go down.
You're all getting banana nutted as you're going down the ladder there. And it is cold against your skin, but enough that it's getting real sticky and liquid. But eventually you climb down this ladder to the bottom, and who would be the first one down if Burrows is not?
I can go.
Okay. Niles, you step your combat boots down onto a collection of newspaper clippings, old cereal boxes, plates of food that are decomposing, that maggots and ants have gotten to down here. There is a layer of filth and grime that collects around the sides of the newspaper clippings. And essentially, as you step down, you're visited with this tube vision, this tunnel that extends out and then intersects once. But that is the entirety of this space. It goes on very long, but is very condensed. At its best, it is claustrophobic. At its worst, it is suffocating. There are so many things along the sides of these walls, old Tupperware containers and cabinets to keep things in. There are portraits along every inch of the walls. It's a maximalist nightmare of filth. There is a line of, as you all start to file into this room, there's a line of jars that run along this counter space that runs the main tunnel of this, that are filled to the brim with what you imagine is this ammonia-filled urine in the mason jars themselves that have been sealed. And the smell is treacherous down here. Even for the corpses that you are, it is awful to be in here. There's old curios of a long dead Vegas lining the walls, and a lot of it looks surprisingly as though it came directly from the Desert Inn, which closed as a hotel in Las Vegas in 2000. but was one of the oldest running hotels in Las Vegas as far as 1957, essentially, or the 50s themselves. And it's all been recreated here. It looks as though this fallout shelter has been recreated into an old Las Vegas hotel and then dumped with a hoarder's paradise on top. There are old aircraft pieces that line the walls and stick out into the hallways. There are pictures with like every star from the 1950s onto the 70s. Frank Sinatra, the full Rat Pack, everyone you can imagine is in here. There is a shrine of sorts with pictures of an old, decrepit man standing next to Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, Ava Gardner, one of Katharine Hepburn, bent over his lap, Hedy Lamarr, and others, all women that are collected in this 30-some photos of the same man standing next to them in various portions of his life. And below is an array of lipstick set into a makeup display below them. And for each lipstick, there is a line of initials next to the lipstick itself. In the center is a portrait that is a rendition of Jean Peters with a written note from her at the bottom that reads, "Till the moon burns, lover," from January 1957. And then below that is a jawbone that sits on a silver dinner plate, and a note in cursive scrawl reads, "Old Gaby Boy's lying mouth." And you all sort of fall out into this place. Burrows, this is all exactly as you remember it. In fact, it's a little dirtier from the last you were here.
Yeah, just mind the piss bottles. You can knock them over once in a while, but it'll be fine, I promise.
If you say so.
Step through.
I think once I get down, I'll kind of like go through the crowd and try to lead the way the rest of the way.
Got it. Burrows, you know where you're going. There's really only 3 different directions you can go in. HH's room is at the very end down that one tunnel. And moving through and bringing everybody to the full birth of this place, you step into the center of that intersection and something catches you, Burrows, where you look to your left and see the sealed hatch door that extends into your bedroom on the left-hand side, where for so long you stayed. Is there any part of you that feels anything for that room, the call of that room, as you step into the center and your new friends sort of climb around all of you, looking at the curios and things to be seen in this place? Does anything call to you?
I think maybe I mentally acknowledge that it exists, but I think Burrows feels so far from what it was and how it housed him and all that, that I think he would rather not even spend much time concerning himself with his existence. And I think he barrels on to Double H's room. He wants to get out of here as soon as possible.
Got it. Is there anything anyone is doing in here that they'd like to declare here, or are we moving straight to Howard?
I'd like to be the last one in.
Okay. Absolutely. Niles will be the last one into HH's room, and we keep moving.
Y'all can imagine what it was like being down here for a decade or so. More.
Yeah, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
About me or about Double H?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I'm not nearly as weird as this guy, but he's true to his word, so.
What's up with the pictures and I guess there's a lot of weird shit in here, but the pictures and the lipstick for some reason really stuck with me.
I don't know, he always kind of views them as his prized possessions, these women that he's interacted with in his life. I don't know, Double H is a weird guy. He's been around a long time, you know. Obviously, he's seen a lot of folks.
He's a collector. He collects. Like you, John.
Well, I don't know if I'm a collector. I like to have nice things, but
no.
He seems a little bristled by the comparison.
No. You misunderstand. It's not important. Shall we?
Well,
with those cryptic, mystic words from Raguel kind of sit over the rest of you. You step forward into what is the main hallway into Howard's room. Music is blaring It is the Rat Pack, it is jazz, it is the 50s. You've stepped into the center of any casino in the 1950s, and this is the track that's playing. But it is unbearably loud. Someone with a hearing aid would still be struggling here with the amount coming through. The deaf would enjoy this room. The music is so loud. Coming through, in addition to that, there's also a TV on, an old black and white tube picture that has been braced onto stacks and stacks of books that even from the disarray of how that thing has been put together, you can tell Burrows did this. It is this like haphazard, well, let's get a TV on him position that is sitting an inch away from a queen-size bed that sits in the center of the back wall of this fallout shelter. And there, seated amongst the filth in a queen-size bed, is HH. He is a very old, decrepit version of Howard Hughes to anyone in this room that would recognize him as being such. He looks the day he died, and he is stark naked, with the sheets drawn only just above his genitalia, at which the peak of an old pink hotel napkin is draped over his most sensitive areas. So one along his nipples, the other along his crotch, and the other two peaked in between his armpits. Sitting over him on his naked belly are 6 separate plates, all housing the same meal. A New York strip steak that has been cooked to the pink, a dinner salad, and small peas. All of the large peas have been removed manually, something that Burrows is aware of uniquely. He claps his bony little hands together as all of you move into the room, Niles in the back there, and says, "Burrows, my boy, you've come back."
Burrows is singing softly along with the music, just enough to try to convince him to turn the music down, but doing it enthusiastically along with the music.
I love that.
Knowing that he likes it, but I am trying to like do it just enough to where he's trying to turn the music down to hear me better.
Give me a charisma plus persuasion to see if you'll get what you want from old HH.
Okay, charisma and persuasion. So that's 6 successes, 2 on my hunger die.
He immediately, to hear that angelic voice of yours, turns down this old record player that you've positioned on top of the black and white TV where he is watching film, and he cascades that trigger down just to hear you sing, and quiet.
I did it my way.
Oh, you always had such a heavenly voice on you, boy. The world never appreciated you for the raw talent you had. So what?
And the
you
world
stole
never
a few
appreciated you,
tunes.
my friend.
It is ours to carry a flag that no one marches for, isn't it right, my boy?
That's right. That's right. Well, my friend, I come bearing gifts and friends. I wanted to introduce my coterie to who I think is an essential cog of the wheels of Vegas.
You brought me something. What did you bring me, Burrows? My favorite?
Your favorite, yeah. And I hold up the sopping wet bag of ice cream.
Yes. Bring it here. And he cascades the steaks over the side, tossing them over, and the peas go flying, and they join the stacks of plates that sit around his bed now. Set them on me, yes? Come here, my boy.
You want me to just dump it on you, or kind of set it by you?
So, the gallons, stack them 6.5 diamond across me, yes?
I've done this before, so I'll set him down
and
around him.
Takes one out. He opens the centermost, now sitting on his belly, and he takes from the side of his drawer this tiniest little soup spoon Can barely take anything off of it, and he begins to spoon the now melted banana nut into his mouth as he looks to all of you. It begins to dribble along his old, decrepit lips as he meets all of you. You have brought new friends, but first, Burrows, you look so skinny. What have they done to you on the surface?
Well, I found a couple of those Amici who are kind enough to help reshape me.
You've been speaking to the dragons under the hill, huh? Yes, come here. Let me grab your former fat boy. And he brings you forward, and he, with your permission, with your consent, will lift that patterned shirt and pull at your tummy, essentially trying to fill for the new changes.
Yeah, I don't think I'll put up with it for very long. Maybe a lifting of the shirt, but I don't want to embarrass myself in front of my coterie, so I'll probably sheepishly bat him away.
He laughs, and it's like a grandmother pinching your cheeks for a moment. He's oh, you boy, always
down,
so
Blade.
afraid to be seen. Oh,
I got friends with me. Come on now.
But you look good. Good. Look at your hair. Oh, you're doing well up there. Since you left me, do you enjoy it up there? Is it better than down here?
It's different. I have to adapt up there. I gotta
Different,
be a little
better?
bit more. No.
Okay. Good. Just different then.
Just different. Yeah. You know how terrible it is up there.
Yes. It's unsafe. It's not safe for you, Burrows. You'd be safer inside. But there are some assistances with you being up there, I suppose.
Talking about safety, actually, it's something I want to get to. Real quick, let me introduce everyone, though. We have the leader of the coterie, Sybil.
Yes.
Sybil.
Come here.
Oh, yep. Okay. Nice to meet you. And they try to quickly grab both of their hands in a handshake.
Does go to grab your cheeks first, and you catch his hands, and he accepts it. He sort of looks down at those hands. A firm grip on this one. Look at you. Beautiful. Yes. Very interesting. Good. Who's next?
Niles, why don't you come say hi?
Niles kind of shudders at the being called out, but will walk at least forward enough to introduce themselves.
I think
gives
maybe
them a
Niles cut
wave.
out. Am I crazy?
No, we hear.
I think
if
my
you don't
headphones-
hear Niles,
give me 1
maybe
second.
just jump back into the OBS.
Let me get you guys back.
Baby, come back.
What?
1 second. Could you guys speak for me?
Hello.
Check.
Butts.
Hello, I can hear you. Okay, we're good.
Okay, cool.
So Niles, you approach. That's what I heard last.
Yeah, Niles kind of shudders at being called out by name, but will come through the crowd. Won't go to shake HH's hand, but will give a wave from afar.
He's
Oh,
modest,
this
but
one
he's
is
tough,
shy.
yeah,
are they?
they're modest, but
They
they're
don't
tough.
approach Burrows. Are they afraid of me? Are you afraid of me?
No, I'm not. I just prefer it like
Are you
this.
looking at me?
No, I'm not. Niles doesn't make eye contact with people. Niles has their feet to the eyes. To the
Because if you were looking at me, you should tell me, yes?
yes.
Double H, she wasn't looking at you. She'd tell you. They're all real honest.
Good. Keep that one far. Next.
We got Mal.
Mal aggressively tilts their head toward the ceiling. And stops a good distance away from arm's reach.
Oh, I've seen one of these before.
Hello.
Look at you.
Don't like that.
What is this one's name, Burrows?
This one can tell you themselves.
Go on then. Speak.
And then I remember what Burrows said about not speaking until spoken to, and goes,
It's a little too late now.
Yeah,
Go on.
Mal.
Use those supple little vocal cords.
Okay, wow, I hate this. I'm Mal. It's nice to meet you.
Good. And the last.
Well, the last is my boy Raguel. He's been
This one.
asleep.
Come forward. Yes,
Yeah.
you.
Raguel steps forward. Yeah, keeping his all three eyes downcast.
Oh, you are touched. I've only met one of you a handful of times. Do come forward. Yes, may I touch?
You may.
And he reaches forward and he takes those gnarled little hands and he presses it pretty obtrusively into your third eye and just sort of runs over the surface of it. Burrows, I like these ones. You need to bring me folks more often.
Yeah, we're planning to come around more often for sure.
Is Burrows frozen for anyone else? Am I going insane? I've lost Burrows.
Maybe.
Let me rejoin real quick.
Okay. Because I see levels. Everyone else hears me, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
Just gotta have.
There we go.
So can you hear me, Caleb?
Yes, I can. I can hear
Love
you.
it.
See you. That explains a lot. Okay. Burrows, you have to bring me these people more often. I love having guests, and these are so interesting. Are these the ones you've been telling me about over the phone?
Yeah, some of them. We lost some in the beginning of the summer, but yeah, pretty much.
The two, the artists, yes? Well, one of them.
Yeah, they had a little falling out.
A bride gave me a call about that whole situation. Such a shame. Although the other seems to be doing quite well out west.
Oh, really? Any word about him? How's she doing?
Only was mentioned that she was working with the Vorman sisters. A very equitable situation for them. She's making good time in good place. It will only be a moment before she's made a name for herself, I'm sure. Although she'll never return out here.
Well, Double H, you know me. I'm kind of clumsy sometimes, and well, that very gracious gift that you gave me, it's gone missing, and I find myself in a situation where it's not enough to go around not carrying one of those things, one of those swords, and so I was wondering if maybe you had an extra one laying around, or maybe you know the guy who made that
Burrows, you lost the sword.
It's less that I lost it and more like I misplaced it. It's buried in somebody's head at the moment.
Well, why didn't you say so? I thought those fat fingers of you must have greased through and the pommel just fell from your hands. Instead, you've done exactly what I asked you to. You've used it to its fullest extent and became the knight that you are.
Yeah, the fat knight that I am. Anyway, I was wondering if maybe, I don't know, you think you know where I can get another one of the same quality?
But by all means, I have something that will fit right in those hands of yours, won't slip for a moment. Would you like another sword of the same make, or are you in the business of new toys?
No. If you got something that was similar to what you gave me, I'd love that.
I do. Go fish over there in the corner of my bedroom here. I believe it's under the pile where the bookcase has fallen over, and he directs you to this corner of the room. And indeed, there is this bookcase that used to be fully functioning and standing up the last you were here, that somehow has moved and fallen, despite him claiming to be bedridden. The books have cast over it. It's over another mass, and he directs you to lift the bookcase and search under there.
As I'm doing that, as I go to work to lift the bookcase, I probably make some comment out loud like, "Oh, you had some visitors got wild while I was last out of here?"
Something like that. I've had trouble finding new help, and we had some unwanted guests earlier this month. Some of the terrible awful things that have happened since you left me all alone, but oh, we persist.
Terrible, awful things. I mean, are you okay? Has somebody hurt you? What happened?
Burrows. Don't worry for my safety, especially now that you've left here. You can't worry for something you've given up, can you? No, grab your sword.
I haven't given you up. I'm just working on a couple things, and I'll finish moving it over.
You lift that bookcase, and underneath the cascade of books themselves is a corpse that is face up. Its face has been sort of sheared in half and is populated with this gore. Judging by the freshness of the gore presented, this is maybe a few days old. And they are mangled underneath that bookcase. It looks like unspeakable things have happened to them. But immediately adjacent to it is a hard case on top of another hard case that is very similar to the one your sword came in. It's almost like, a Geier case or one of those heavy carry rifle boxes, but made for blades.
Yeah, I'll try my best not to get any gore on me and just try to move the box out.
You kind of have to elbow this dead guy out of the way to get the box out, and as you do, this sort of cascade of things fall through as a new pile is formed, and this rocket-propelled grenade falls to the floor there, this RPG that is not loaded but ready, and a series of other metal clanks fall through at the bottom there, and you bring out this sword case. Do you open it right there?
I think I'll first reference the body to the coterie and just be like, you can see what happens when people cross double H, right?
Interesting.
I'll bring it over closer to the bed, probably lay it on the bed and open it.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Can we do a little premonition action? See if I can see what happened here.
Absolutely. You want to go ahead and give me an active premonition roll?
I absolutely can and will. It's actually free, resolve plus aspects. Let's do that. And that is 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. You see this vaguity invade that third perspective as your own eyes go black for a moment, and you are almost like in a fisheye lens of the same bedroom at a different time and place. And there is that form, the faceless one, having a conversation with HH in the bed. Yes. You don't get words. You don't get interpretations of what the conversation is, but it is antagonistic on the perspective of the invader. The invader is threatening something to HH. HH is disturbingly calm during the conversation. You can see their mouths move once, HH's. And then, almost like some horrible spider, he climbs backwards with his arms across the wall behind him, up to the ceiling, and then pounces down onto this individual into the bookcase faster than light. And you can see him gnawing at the face of this being as it collides into the bookcase falls over on top of them. And HH goes through the motions of peeling this man's face.
Yeah, Raguel will open that third eye and remain silent.
Okay.
While Burrows is opening the box.
What does this blade look like inside, Burrows? Tell me what your latest blade is.
I feel like it's... like you're making me think that maybe Double H has a lot of really old stuff. Maybe it's like a relic. I mean, maybe it's even... I don't know, a samurai sword? Do I want to tread that ground again, or do I want like a claymore or something?
Yeah, it could be whatever you want. Yeah, maybe Scottish claymore or something in there. Who knows?
Maybe that's too big. Although, yeah, but he's kind of just like a swing the sword around kind of guy. So yeah. We'll go with that. It's like it should totally be in a museum or something. Yeah. It's maybe not as big as the sheriff's blade, but it is sizable and noticeable, and it's got like maybe like a green emerald in the hilt of it.
Love it. Yeah, it looks uniquely expensive. And where the katana got caught in Pudineska's face, you can't imagine this thing doing anything more than cleaving it sheer off. It is definitely a warrior's blade meant for hacking, slashing, and burrowsing through crowds. This is the sword of someone who removes nuts.
Oh, this is even better, Double H. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. And I'm like, not safely at all, kind of start swinging it around too close to everybody.
The space in here is so claustrophobic that all of you come within maybe an inch of being heaved.
I'm
by
probably
this
like
fucking thing.
sparking on the ceiling as I lift it up, and
HH is doing little happy grandpa claps in the corner. Oh, yes, yes, good, yes.
now I know something as gracious as this doesn't come without a price, Double H. So anything you need from me, please let me know. Me and my coterie are available to you.
This presents a unique opportunity for all of us in the room, as I had something to deliver all to you to begin with. I have become uniquely aware of your presence here in the city, both through Burrows and the conversations I've had with Bride and some of the others throughout this city. I have made some treks, as it were, and I've discovered something. That you all have very precious information to me and my estate. And so I would offer not a payback, but instead a partnership, Burrows, the same that we have always had, but with these beautiful, delicious new morsels you've brought here. The supple ones, new to my place, would join in our partnership, and just like the 60s, we'd all meet in a room and make it happen. As dirty as we can, yes? Now, I have a request that supersedes all of our actions here in Vegas, but should you see it through, I guarantee that I would give you everything you have ever desired in your lives. And I make no promise that is not seen through to its extent. If you desire power, you shall have it. If you desire a weapon with which to cleave your enemies, you will have it. If you desire love, we will find it, whatever it may be. It would be yours, but you would have to agree to circumstances that, if we were to betray, would mean the removal of our partnerships.
Well, of course. So, any double crossing is due for the justice it deserves. But what is it you need from us?
There is
the information.
There is power in portals, Burrows, and all of you have seen one, I have come to understand. And not only have you seen portals, but you have seen the keys to which that open. I understand that you all have been in service not only to a door, but to two keys. Am I to be understood?
News sure does travel fast, even down here.
Yes.
I'm going to look to everyone just to, if there's any immediate, don't say a fucking word. But if I don't see that, then I'll just say something to the effect of, you're right.
I mean, Niles is a little concerned about how far
Raguel
we go
is
with that.
Stone cold glaring at Burrows.
Well, look, we will admit to one thing. We did find one of those keys and we handed it over to the prince. Now, whether you're asking us to stage a heist to get that thing, well, that might come with some negotiations. But we're happy to look for a key and for whatever else you think we might find.
Yes. Well, if those two keys were to find their ways back into this room, I would guarantee, just like in the 50s, we would wipe the slate of this city clean and create something new. We would rid the corruption of this place and erect you all as new arbiters of a Vegas that sees this place for what it is. Paradise.
Burrows.
You are presented with options that are no doubt enticing. I am sure that many others have given you options with these keys. I would only ask that when the time comes, they come to me. The opportunity would be life-changing. Burrows, you have seen what I've done for you, even locked up in this place. Imagine what I could do if I had everything I wanted.
You've been good to me, Double H, I'll admit that. You've shown me the ropes, you've given me guidance, the sweet sword I have now, I get it. Look, as you can tell, we're a diverse bunch, and there's going to be some talking out. If we find what you're looking for, if we find a lead that's worth it, I'll let you know. You know I'm good with you.
Burrows.
What?
Give me one moment. My mic is going crazy. So sorry, guys.
If you could advise Mr. Holmes, I can advise him on another path.
Advise him on another path? Well, I mean, Double H, are you okay with hearing out my boy? I guess he's working on his mic so he doesn't hear us. I don't know.
He's not okay right now. I think while we have this team huddle, maybe, what insurances? This man, Burrows, Sybil just turned sort of to a huddle, a whisper. This man seems insane.
Okay.
Burrows, what assurances do you have that if we deliver the keys to him, that he'll give us anything other than the melted ice cream bag?
I think Burrows looks at you and tries to get across, like, I know he's crazy. I lived with him for like 3 decades. I'm trying to just get us out of the room. Like, just go along with it is the vibe.
Okay.
I think you can tell from Burrows' disgust from entering this place that he doesn't want to be here any longer yet than he has to, and he's not loyal to this guy in any kind of real way.
That's fair.
Okay.
Please, Sybil, you don't know Double H the way I know Double H. Double H, I think that I think what you've offered is fair, and I know that you've been in charge of this place once before. Not a lot of folks know that, but I do, and I know how well you ran it. And well, if we find what you're asking for, I'll let you know. That's the most I can promise right now, because there's a lot of things up in the air.
Yes, so much up in the air. Promises are hard to make, I understand. It's a shame you couldn't make one. Here, how about, as an offering of good faith, I reward you all something? What do you want? No strings attached. As a declaration of my good intentions.
Well, he did give me a sweet sword, so I'm out.
Come now, speak up. It's not often that a former prince gives you boon. It should speak to how important these keys are to everyone involved.
What do you know of the Lamia?
The snake that now infests this city? I know plenty. I could give information.
If the coterie agrees, that would be my request.
Why does everyone give a fuck about these keys? That's what I want to know.
There is power in the ancient. The door you found, you have an awareness of, is one that I have been trying to open for some time. It is biblical in nature.
That door cannot and will not be opened.
Okay, all right.
Now, let's not get too hasty, Raguel. We're just talking here.
Everyone
You
says
know of us, Mr. Hughes. You know of us and what we can do.
I have an awareness that in your ignorance you have a bravado that befits success.
All I will say is I've seen things.
As your
That
people
door.
do.
Nothing good will come from that door.
That is where you are wrong, boyo. My dear boy, listen and listen well. You are right that for many, nothing that comes out of that door will be good. But for those who open it, it will be wonderful. If you would like to count yourselves among those there when the creak of it rocks across Cragged Cave, then I would pick the winning team, love.
You will be named.
I always appreciate the monks and their ramblings, almost as mad as my clan in equity.
So, all right, Sybil says, looking at Raguel. I think that's a thing to say. Additional assistance locating the Lamia.
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking perhaps I should rescind this boon, given that one of you has just declared there will be no intention of giving me what I like. It seems as though maybe the chips have moved across the table. Such a shame, my boys. Such a shame.
Don't speak so
Burrows.
soon, Double H. There's a lot of convincing and talking that happens in this coterie. You know, these folks, they like to talk, even though they're real shy right now. And
Yes, well then perhaps we will save our gifts for Christmas, yes? I will see to it that I will treat you well should you follow through with anything that I have presented here, and if not, perhaps some distance is involved. Burrows, our partnership still stands.
of course, yes, I appreciate it. And don't worry, we'll get to talking, and I'll get back to you.
You will soon learn that someone has to hold those keys. You have both pieces of the puzzle and have done well enough to see them both. You will be a deciding factor in where they go. You must bet the right horse, John.
Well, I appreciate your confidence in me, Double H. I think me and my coterie will make the right decision when it comes to it.
You know, you never picked up your things from your room.
Oh, that's okay. I like to leave them there in case I ever need to come back for some reason. You don't mind, right?
Of course, there's always room for you in my home.
I appreciate it. Anybody else got something to say?
No?
Not that you want me to.
Well, Double H, we don't want to outstay our welcome.
No, of course not. Well then, my picture is on, and the pain is immense. Leave me.
I'll kind of give a awkward curtsy and just kind of start shuffling everyone out.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Good luck with everything.
I skirt
He-
close to the TV so it gets all fuzzy as he tries to watch his show.
He doesn't seem to mind the fuzz so much as the analog of the jazz does okay off of that record player, and the TV begins to flicker. He does this bizarre movement of pressing his forehead against the black and white TV and mumbling to himself as you're leaving. But the fuzziness does take over. You all leave, I assume. Burrows, is there anything you'd like to do before you go back up that ladder? As you're walking amongst the piss?
No, not really. I don't, Sergio's curious as to what's in that room, but I think Burrows would want to just get out of there. I don't feel like there's anything that he wants here.
Okay. You all step up to the surface after a long snake eater ladder up to the surface. Standing out in the moonlight, where your footprints are the only thing that disturb the sands, A coyote is peaked up on a hill far from here watching. But you all stand there. Is there any discussion in this moonlight, or do we call this a successful meeting?
Well, first, I appreciate everybody putting up with it. I know exactly how weird and obnoxious he is, but, you know, all that talk about handing him the keys and shit, I mean, he's an old man, you know what I mean? He wants to rule Vegas again, and you got to placate him a little bit.
What happens if we find the keys and we can't give it to him?
I don't know, he'll be upset. He'll fucking piss his pants or something, but what the hell's he gonna do? I mean, to be fair, he does have a lot of influence. His fingers are everywhere, but he's stuck down there. I mean, he's a long ways away from Vegas.
Down there.
Half of his own choosing, half because it's what the tower wanted. He was a former prince, like you said.
Don't you have to, like, kill the prince or something to become the prince?
Something like that, but that's not what happened to him.
I see.
He's got influence, but I don't know. I don't know if he's really that harmful, unless you're in his presence. I don't know. Well, he is powerful, but we don't have to pay him any mind. The sooner we get out of here, the better we'll feel about it.
Sorry, John.
Hey, it's all right. I'm doing better now. I'm with you fucks instead of him.
That door, it has to stay closed.
I know.
What was that you will be named shit?
Oh, he's going to die.
Yeah. Okay. You had to tell him that? Is that important that you say that to his face?
He knew. He knows.
Okay. I will
Old
say
Raguel. I was
request.
just gonna say, it looks like old Raguel's getting a little confidence in his snap.
Is that a good thing?
Confidence never did me any harm.
It is what it is. When you've seen things, we can't afford to let these things fall into the hands of people who would just treat them as toys. Because when that door opens, there's nothing left for us, for the people we love, for the people we care about.
I mean, I was down there. You weren't down there, so I believe everything you're saying, and I don't have any problem with playing this game of juggling this thing around for a little bit longer. I'm fine with it.
I will do what is necessary to help you maintain that relationship. We will need to talk at some point.
Yeah. Maybe that's the next thing we do? If we're all square away?
I mean, we've been going months now not talking about it, and everything's just fine. Do we really have to bring it up?
I would say yes. The way that my week is gone, we need to bring it all up.
You need to know.
As soon as possible.
Because the price that this city will pay if we do not get our shit together collectively is nothing short of fucking biblical.
And with that, we are going to take a short break, and we'll return with Mal, with Niles, with Raguel, and with Jackie's introduction.
Yes!
And understanding.
Yay!
All right, we'll see you guys in about
right back.
15, 10,
See you in a
15, something like that. Okay, well, please don't lick that. Hello, guys. Welcome back. We left in a vignette, a little flashback of the meeting of HH, who we now have discovered is Howard Hughes, the Mala to our beloved John Burrows, who is not anyone else. He could never be anyone else. All likenesses to Elvis are heavily disputed. With Raguel's warning that there's much to discuss and that if that door opens, something of a biblical nature will fall through. But before we get to that discussion of what comes next. We need to declare some more things about our coterie over the summer vacation here. Starting with our favorite resident shadow, Mal. Let's pick back up. Tell me what you've been up to this summer. What has changed for Mal?
I think at the end of last season, Mal talked about leaving their church.
Mm-hmm.
And then very quickly decided against that because this is theirs and they want it, and they're very tired of running.
Embracing the Lasombra, taking some dominion, baby.
Yes, making it theirs in a few different ways. Every piece of religious iconography in their church is gone. Every cross, every hymnal, every prayer book, there is no hint of the Lord, except for a few, any depictions of St. Catherine of Siena remain, and that's it.
Beautiful.
We can talk more about what else it looks like on the inside, but that's a big one, especially with all the talk about biblical nature of things happening. Mal has aggressively gone against it.
If you want to roll through the aesthetic changes, I'm sure everyone listening would love to hear how it looks.
Sure. The windows are now covered in tapestries of like really deep, dark, rich colors, like almost jewel tone. And it's bolted into the wall, so it's not like a curtain. It is just a full window covering.
Mm-hmm.
There are all the pews are set up right. Everything's swept. It's technically clean, but there's there's kind of an emptiness to the hall of it, I guess. All of the hymnals and prayer books, as I said, are gone. They have been replaced with just empty notebooks. Just to have all around.
Beautiful.
Different colors, different sizes, just in those little seat back pockets. Their room is a little bit of a mess. There are different colored piles of ripped paper in every shade. Every shade is its own different color. All of the trash that they've collected has been separated by color. There's a basin of what is essentially like street rainwater. And on their wall, there is on their door, specifically to their room, there is like a series of locks that have been added since Mr. Sawyer made his way into their home.
Got it. Okay, beautiful. So renovating the church has been a huge part of the summer, obviously.
Yes,
Is there anything else you'd like to declare to the audience that's been done, changed, moved towards?
Mal started making inroads with a couple of kindred in the space. Bride for one, Cisco for another. And has just kind of been putting a focus on like trying to stay safe. Not even comfortable, but just like safe.
Safe. You want something that's grounded and survivable.
Yes.
Have you been spending a lot of time at the asylum?
A fair amount. I think it's been like a slow trying to like get into Bride's good graces. And also keeping an eye out for Lynn Torres, who was the monster in the basement, or who was the vessel of the monster in the basement that Mal still doesn't fully understand.
Right.
So it's been a lot of kind of hanging around Terra, looking for Lynn, and trying to get into Bride's good graces.
So far, there's been no mention or sight of Lynn at the asylum as thus, but the word has been put out. You've talked to some people that know Lynn comes around and says that it's only a matter of time, but it's most nights you and Tara drinking at the corner of that Gothic structured bar in the big open space, almost church factory setting of the asylum. Before we move forward, there is one thing that we need to accomplish that was done this summer that needs to be set right. In season 1, you were obviously attacked by someone from your hometown, who then warned you that someone was coming for you and that they wanted to meet you at the penthouse of the Aria Casino and Hotel. You were given a room number and a key card to get you in. And obviously, it was important for you to appear. I want to know, Mal, does Mal appear to this meeting place at the Aria Casino and Hotel to see what is on the other side of that door?
After everything that happens at the end of season 1 with the asylum and with going down to see Raguel, I think there's probably a night that Mal paces the perimeter of the Aria, trying to make themselves go in. And it hits probably like 2 a.m, and they finally kind of push through the doors and plug in the key card to go up to the penthouse.
You get on the elevator, you take it to the penthouse level, you look for the room that you're accessing, the key card goes in, and for a moment it is as though you are alive again, because if you could be nervous, this is what it would feel like. You don't feel much outside of the inky blackness that comes with being Lasombra, the oblivion that lives in your veins. But here, this is enough to be a spark of a light in that darkness, an awareness that whatever happens on the other side of this, it might, maybe, mean something against everything else that doesn't. Pushing through. Go ahead.
Right before the door opens, in a fit of uncharacteristic, not even optimism, but just near hope, but like a step off, Mal's gonna activate Blush of Life.
Okay. You suddenly look more human. You are not the pallid beast that you usually are. You pass for someone just sick enough to be alive. And for a moment, you feel more like your old self, the person who manned the cashier at that vintage rental store, the person who won the court case for their sister, the person who became a parent too young, but was far too good at it not to, the person who was live, breathing before that car spun out. The doors open. On the other side, a penthouse, large king-size bed, massive bathroom that is glass-walled in against a in-floor shower, a secondary room with a living space and a TV, and a huge panoramic view to the rest of the strip down below you. The room initially feels empty. Give me a wits plus awareness.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 successes with a critical.
5 successes with a critical. Exceptional. You believe yourself to be alone.
I hate that.
There is one thing that is in this hotel room that is not from the hotel itself. It is a Polaroid photo on the coffee table of the living room section.
Mal goes and picks it up.
It's a picture of Lydia. She's older now, with a haircut you would have never given her. She's wearing jeans that are too short for her, about the ankles from the growth spurt that's hitting her. She looks like an entirely new kid. In her hands is a guitar, and she's fumbling with fingering a chord. The Polaroid is taken from the perspective of the outside window of your 3rd floor apartment.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's gross. Mal, with shaking hands, puts the photo in their pocket next to the two canisters, the two little film canisters.
As you do, you can feel Sharpie move underneath your thumb as it thumbs the back of the Polaroid.
Oh, fuck. I'll flip it.
It reads, "If you met God, do you think you would know? She does."
She thinks she would know? Is that what I assumed that question?
If you met God, do you think you would know? Question mark. Space. She does. Period.
Mal tears the room apart, looking for anyone or anything that is left.
Roll me a dexterity plus athletics.
2 successes.
The coffee table is the first thing you flip before he tackles into you. There's a form inside the room, large, square-shouldered, buzz-cut, all-black techwear outfit. He lands on top of you. You go colliding into the room, and you're aware that that person is above you. They're going to make an attack against you. And you can feel 2 powerful fists come down and crack you across both sides of your face as 2 hooks hit you hard and fast. You're going to take 3 superficial damage as it hits you. That's superficial, not aggravated.
Yeah.
This person on top of you is very strong. Go ahead and give me a wits plus awareness.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna spend a willpower. That sucks.
Okay.
I'm spending a willpower.
Roll the 3 that are not your hunger dice.
Yes. Whew. All right. Well, that didn't even matter because I got the same roll. I have 1 special onk on the normal die and 2 fails on my hunger die.
Okay, so you have 1 success.
Yes. Oh, that's right. They don't matter. That doesn't matter unless there's no successes.
Only
right.
the 2 bad ones only matter if we don't succeed. But 1 success is all you need because this is a very easy tell. You recognize this individual. You went to high school with him. He has a name tag on his front that reads Rembrandt. But that's not his name.
No.
You know his name is Reggie. You went to school with him. He was on the football team. He was on the D line. He was all state and was going to do very well for himself in college until he tore his meniscus and became a used car salesman. He stayed in his hometown for as long as you knew him, and you knew that a very long time ago he was put to court essentially for domestic abuse with his now ex-wife. He is on top of you. He has just cracked his fists across you. You can see these huge fangs across his canines and blood dripping from his eyes. He has insanity in his face. And it is up to you. What are you doing here?
I am going to so he's got me pinned basically.
Yeah.
Cool. Does he seem alive?
Judging by the fangs, he's probably as alive as you are.
Oh, you said fangs. I missed the fangs part. My bad.
No worries.
Then I'm
it's a
going
nebulous alive.
use where is the thing that I want? There it is. I'm going to use my prowess, I believe it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna use prowess to try and get him off me.
Okay. This is a discipline you're employing. Which discipline are you using here?
Potence.
Oh, potence. Okay.
It says, vampires with potent gains far greater strength from their blood than those who don't. It's a rouse check. When activated, add potent rating to the user, potent rating of user to their unarmed damage value, as well as feats of strength, half to melee.
Okay. So
rouse check.
Describe the hits that are coming here. What exactly is the attack you're making here?
Mal gets their feet up under like his hips and just pushes.
Okay.
And tries to essentially flip positions with straight strength, which is foolish for them, but they're going to do it anyway.
Okay. Go ahead and give me strength plus brawl, and then whatever potence adds to that pool.
Since I'm real pissed off, can I use my specialty in rage?
Is your specialty in brawl rage?
Yeah, it's brawl rage. We wrote this many years ago.
Absolutely. No, totally. If it says rage under brawl, then you can add 1 additional dice to your pool with this attack.
Sick. So you said strength
plus brawl.
Plus brawl.
With your rage die.
Okay, hold on. Okay, that's strength. That's rage. Great. Okay, I got it. 1, 2. I'm using another willpower to. That's 2 willpower down. I'm using another one for this roll.
Okay.
There we go, baby.
Yeah.
Crit. So 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 successes. Holy shit.
With that, if I make this, I want to land on top of him and just have my hand around his throat, ready to rip.
Okay. Yeah, you do land this. He collides with the ceiling as you just rabbit kick him into the top of the penthouse. It cracks through with this glass shielding that they have for the mirrored surface of their penthouse, and he falls back to the ground with this huge shower of glass over him, bleeding and cut up off the sides. You definitely hit him well. And then you're running over and you're priming your hand against his neck. He's going to retaliate by trying to grip your biceps essentially and wrench them back behind you so that he can wrestle you into a sort of hold. So the two of you are fighting for a hold. Yeah. How are you responding to this so we can get it contested?
I would like to just try and dip out of the way, like not full like Wing Chun in the sense of like trained, but just like, okay, your movement's going that way, I'm going a different direction.
You want to push them one way, go the other.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, give me a dexterity plus brawl.
Cool. Two. Okay. Unfortunately, he overpowers you. He gets you around the arms, he picks you up, and he takes you over to the window and smashes your face into the hard resisted glass of the Aria Casino's panoramic view. It is very resistant glass because obviously casinos have a very tough time keeping people inside of penthouse apartments. So it does not crack on the first, but you can see this massive pane shoot with a lightning bolt of break along the glass there, and it threatens to break through again. And it's clear he's got one hand on the back of your head and the other on your bicep, and is just pummeling you through. You're going to take another 2 superficial damage. Okay, that sucks. All right.
So now it comes back to you. This last little round here. So I've got one arm free, right? Yeah.
I want to reach back around and grab the arm that's on my head and use Touch of Oblivion.
Okay. What does Touch of Oblivion do for you in this context?
Withers a body part untouched.
Yeah, and you're grabbing him where again?
Just on the hand that's got me.
Gotcha.
Let me read the version on Demiplane.
Yeah.
Because I've only been reading the wiki one because I can't ever find it in the damn book.
Yeah.
Following a rouse check, the vampire grips their victim, requiring a strength brawl. If the victim is trying to avoid, once gripped, victim suffers 2 aggravated damage as well as a significant injury. If this injury is inflicted on arm or leg, target one is rendered useless. Vampires can mend the damage like regular aggravated.
Okay, so 2 aggravated damage if you succeed. So give me first the rouse check. Let's see if you get hungry. 6 and above, you're not hungry.
I got 1.
Okay, cool. So mark hunger there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're working with the actual attack there. So give me a grapple roll that's strength plus brawl.
Yes. So I have to...
And he's, of course, going to fight back against you in the hopes of stopping you.
I'm rolling so bad today. I'm using another willpower. Just 3, because I can't reroll hunger die.
Okay, 3 successes. Unfortunately for him, he did roll horribly, so you will succeed. You add 2 aggravated damage. You have control of him. What does this look like? What do you want to happen? You're right there grappled against the glass. He's shoved your face in and casted blood across your face there as you're starting to bleed vitae. You're drenched up or pressed up against that glass there. You pull back, you grab his hand. What happens from there?
Mal grabs his hand and feels it just start to disintegrate.
Mm-hmm.
Like time has sped up and he is decaying as he should be.
He screams out as it happens.
I'm gonna shove him back.
Towards the glass or towards the room? Are we sending him through the window or back into the living room?
Almost perpendicular to me. Not really necessarily into one or the other because I want to know what the fuck he's doing here.
Okay. We'll say that the withering, you take him, you push him against the glass there, and you have a firm hold on him, enough that you maybe could get something out of him as you have him pressed against the glass. Not out, not through, but at least enough that you could question. And we'll call this resolved for at least now. You have enough of a hold as his arm continues to decrease and wither and go, and you can see he's even younger than you are in terms of all of this and not fighting a winning battle with you. He says, let me the fuck go. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, my fucking arm!
Reggie, you had to expect this.
You fucking bitch. You fucking bitch.
I'm a fucking bitch, I know. What the fuck are you doing here?
What the fuck do you think we're doing? You won't go the fuck home, and so he sent us after you. We're gonna do everything it fucking takes to get you back, bitch.
I'm not allowed to go home. Take it up with Prince fucking Grant.
He wants you, and he's gonna take you. And you got days. You got days on your fucking bill, bitch.
What does he want with me?
He wants you to do what you were supposed to. You were supposed to meet with him. You were supposed to hear him out. You were supposed to know. And now you don't know anything, do you? You bitch.
You really need to expand your vocabulary. This is... I know you were busy doing Allstate back in the day, but God.
Yeah, you laugh it up right now. Just wait until he gets his hands on you. It'll be over from there. You'll either get with it or you'll get in the fucking dust.
Did he ask you the God question?
Yeah, he asks all of us.
What'd you say?
I said I would know the Lord if I saw him. I went to church. I know what it's about.
Okay. So did you see him?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm here? Look what he made me. Look what he let you do. And that's just when you drink from him. Imagine what he can do. You're telling me that's not God? What the fuck is?
God is nothing. God is the void.
Maybe there's nothing, but I'd rather be with him if there is.
Coward again, afraid. Okay, I'm with it. I track it now. Cool. Well, you can go tell him, like the good little puppy you are, that he can come talk to me himself.
He's a little busy right now.
Well, if he wants me, then he'll make time.
He's been taking up photography.
Mal does clam up at that. They don't have anything smart or snarky to say about it.
Yeah, bitch. That's what I thought.
Again with the bitch. I need to keep a tally. Gotta get you a bitch jar or something. Where is it? Just tell me where it is.
At that point, he begins to swirl again, and it's very obvious that he's going to make another move for you.
Fucking hell.
We'll call you first action.
Let me... Sorry, I'm reading. He's bigger than me. He's probably stronger than me. I'm gonna go on just a defensive, not defensive in the sense of like fighting back, but defensive in just like an avoidant kind of way.
Okay, you're trying to escape.
Grasp.
Okay. Are you trying to escape so much that you're creating distance in the room, or are you trying to get out of here?
I think I'm trying to create distance. How bright is it in this room, I guess?
It's pretty bright. It's a hotel penthouse. They got way too many lights.
All the lights are fucking on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then being in the shadows will be as obvious as not being in the shadows.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of shadow going on in this room.
Yeah.
You imagine that he knows that that's what we do.
Yeah.
He's a Lasombra like you are.
Yeah. Then I'm trying to create space to ask one last question, and then I'm fucking out.
Okay. All right. So you're trying to get away, and then on your escape, you're calling this back to him. Okay.
Yes.
Give me a dexterity plus. Let's call this athletics to get out of grasp. And he's gonna roll strength and brawl to try and put you through the window.
Mm-hmm.
How's my daughter?
Tell me about my kid, you fucker. 3.
3.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, unfortunately, he crits.
Fuck me.
Pretty substantially.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me what is this final question? See if you can get it out before.
If he wants me so much, where the fuck is he then?
If he wants me so much, and that's about all you get as he squirrels through, breaks the withered hand, takes the other, and choke slams you back, spinning through, and hits you through that window. The window cracks and breaks, and you are now airborne from the Aria Hotel, floating through. Let's give you another 2 superficial damage as the glass breaks and you cut through. You're now flying, Mal, outside of the strip, essentially to your death. What are you doing?
This building, does it have balconies?
Does the Aria have balconies? I stayed in the Aria.
Oh, this is a real building that we can ask that of.
Yeah. The Aria does have balconies, yes.
It does have balconies.
Does, yes.
Great. I would love to try to...
Possibly cold. The wind is whipping about you, and you're trying to shoot for one of these balconies?
I would love to try to do that, please and thank you.
Are you like freebasing flying squirrel over there? Is this a Lasombra trick? Are you just hoping the wind takes you?
I think Mal like wraps himself in a shadow cloak.
Okay.
But it doesn't add anything. It doesn't add anything to their ability.
No ability to jump to shadows, huh?
No, I don't have that somehow. I don't
That's
think.
So sad.
Yeah.
Well, something to
really
look
is.
into from now on.
Mm-hmm.
There is one where you can just leap to the next available.
There is, and I didn't take it because I'm a dumbass.
Because we wanted the cool wither guy.
I wanted to fuck someone up, but now I'm...
Go ahead and give me a dexterity plus athletics, and let's see if you can wanted curve the bullet that is your body at the balcony below. You're skating off. The glass is falling with you. People on the balconies are looking up. There's screams from the strip below as everyone sees it happen.
So I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Okay, so with a willpower, you get to reroll 3 die.
Yeah.
I only have 1 die that isn't a hunger die.
That's the only one you can reroll.
Can I re-roll it 3 times?
No, you can re-roll it once.
Cool. So cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Well, I'm doing it. I'm 3 health away from death. I am 1 willpower away from no willpower.
3 aggravated damage or superficial?
Well, we filled up my superficial.
Yeah. So you have 1 aggravated.
I have 2 aggravated because you said I hit the 2.
What you mean?
You said I'd filled up by the time I went through the window. You said there were 2 more superficial damage as I went through the window.
Yeah, so that would be 1 aggravated damage, then your ticker comes back.
Oh, wow, incredible. That's way better than I thought I was doing.
Am I going crazy? Hold on. Because you only have 3 aggravated health points, do you? How many health points
I have
do you have?
5 health in total, and as I understood it, it was your aggravated is double your hit, like is just the same as like you can take the same amount of health, but you're.
Yeah.
Did they take any damage during the fight? Like I remember you saying something about superficial.
I got
Okay,
to
all right.
5. I got to my full health and superficial damage, and then I went through the window and took 2 more superficial damage, which I thought meant that
Spills over.
that I have 3 more until I'm fucked. That would be 10. Which
Sounds about right.
Well, did you half the superficial that I gave you? I'm sorry.
What do you mean I only took half the superficial?
Because vampires take half of the superficial damage applied. So when you take 2, you take 1.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Equal margins of successes in attack rolls. All superficial health damage is halved and rounded up for.
Beautiful. So I took 7 in total, so it would be 4 now.
4, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. As I learn the rules of the game, we've been playing for forever.
It's okay. I've never gotten these rules right, and the comments know, and they're watching me. And I
they
swear
will
I'm
never
trying.
forgive you for it.
I'm trying to do better this season. I'm sure I've already fucked it up.
You're doing a great job.
But the story's good, huh? At least I know the lore.
We're not here for math. Let's just
I'd
say
rather
that.
be a vampire storyteller that knows the lore, that knows the rules. Come on.
Then a vampire accountant.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say I did fail, even with my willpower reroll.
You
so
failed pretty spectacularly.
No
right?
successes.
No
I thought I could maybe pull 1 out of it. I didn't. I'm in trouble. It's
So
fine.
now the question is, do I want to kill you?
That is an
Do I
option.
want to start season 2 with a time paradox?
Let's ask the audience.
Yeah. We're gonna do a
that's
YouTube
one.
poll.
Should Mal die?
I think we can do YouTube polls, can't we? That'd be crazy.
Well, I mean,
Everyone
like, we
just
could
die.
actually. I don't know how to do that. Oh yeah, start a poll.
Start a poll.
Should
Mal live?
Mal
Honestly, if we want
die?
to enter like media
Yes,
res,
no,
and
start
switch
poll.
to someone else.
We'll return to this, right?
No, wait a minute. If they just fall and smash into the ground, I mean,
High up.
The problem is it creates a paradox, because then how did they then survive to go to HH? Like,
It's a clone.
okay, I'm gonna roll right now, and we're gonna decide here.
Yeah, super fair.
Equal opportunity.
Mal's just got the worst concussion. Does not remember that entire meeting with HH.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Can they just fall into Baby Blue and I just drive the body away?
You guys were poised at the bottom.
Was
we are-
there a pop-up WWE event where they were doing a special effects right outside that window? I don't know.
We're 9 votes in. Last time.
Yeah, 9
Yeah,
votes in,
so-
33 to 67. Oh boy.
You know?
Oh no.
If
That'd
this
be great
is the
if
end,
I introduced the first time paradox into a vampire campaign. Like, you're dead but not dead.
It was a ghost this whole time.
You fail dramatically at catching one of those balconies, but the world is on your side in one way, because you do collide with the side of the building and crunch your arm on the way down and plummet into the side of the balcony, where you are draped onto your ribs, and what would undoubtedly have killed anyone else leaves you barely alive. You're going to take 1 aggravated damage, okay? Which we've confirmed does not kill you
No.
yet,
No.
but you managed, thankfully, to hit the building short enough that this was not a full fall to the strip below. You stand up there, and you are looking at a very terrified couple that are dressed in like tourist vacation clothes, little pattern shirts and Vegas fits. The man is halfway through putting his club fit on, like pulling on far too tight white leather pants, and they look over to find you crunched and crippled into the path of their balcony. He goes, "Oh, holy shit, what the fuck, holy shit!" And they're terrified, and they're opening the door out to their room. Help us, somebody! They're hurt, we need help. They're calling out into the hallway. What you imagine might be a masquerade breach to someone who just could get up and walk away from this. What's the plan now?
How far above the ground am I at this point?
You'd say you fell from the penthouse. You fell a few floors. You're still pretty high up there. But you're away from the quarterback upstairs trying to kill you.
For sure.
You've still got to make it to an elevator or some stairs.
Right. But
Or I guess you could just jump off the building again and hope you roll some more successes.
Aim for the pool.
Don't.
That's kind of the vibe I'm going for.
pull in other guys and just...
Remember, you hit water, it's like concrete.
The one untaken name says that you should say, hospital. Hospital.
Hospital.
Oh, Jesus fuck. So we're afraid of a masquerade violation.
Maybe. You could pass it off, put on some acting skills. Yeah, it's a little weird you survived, but who knows?
How visibly injured is Mal?
You just like collided with a balcony, falling pretty fucking fast, and like spun out when your elbow cranked back off your shoulder. It's like this thing is jelly on the side there, and then your ribs are probably exposed and bleeding. Cool. It's bad. It's definitely not good.
Interesting. Okay, so sorry everyone. I would love to. God, this is dumb as fuck. I'm gonna. So I hate this. I'm probably just gonna go off the edge again. I know I'm telling you not to, but that was only one aggravation. No. I'm more afraid of a masquerade violation.
You're really taking the plot armor to heart, dude.
No,
that is a masquerade violation.
It's not the plot armor. I'm more afraid of a masquerade violation after all the hard work that Sybil is going to do for us. Although Sybil hasn't done the hard work yet.
I'm fighting for our lives now. As you're falling, you fall past the window where I say we're gonna be more careful from here on out.
Okay, so that's the timeline. Excellent, good to know. Then I'll do a cute thing called
so cute.
Just find a shadow.
That's the plan. I'm gonna just shadow cloak and just try to get the fuck out of there.
Okay. Shadow cloak, does that add on to a stealth roll, or is that a roll itself?
Myself,
okay,
or
so
my intimidation, which
go
I'm
ahead
trying
and give
to
me dexterity plus stealth plus that addition for the shadow hide there, and let's see if you can get yourself out of here. There's plenty of shadows on the outside here.
Right, but I, as we've established, can't walk through the shadows.
Yeah. Plenty on the balcony you're on. I think you're muted.
I was muting to roll. I've rolled so many fucking bestial failures that would be so bad if I hadn't any successes, but I have 5 of them.
Thank God, you're terrifying me. 5 successes, no failure. No failure here. That's by far a success.
Yeah.
You meld into the shadow before you. What does this look like as Mal? Is there one moment draped and falling off of a balcony, absolutely shattered the glass, these people screaming and calling for help out there in the hallway, trying to fetch someone to come get you. What does it look like as you shadow melt?
I think Mal tries to let out a whisper like that of a ghost, disapparating into the nothingness. Something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm finally free."
You speak the words "finally free" into the ether. And it causes the couple screaming at the door to stop and look back as they were in this rush to try and get the police, the people who work for the hotel, the ambulance, anything. The woman is on the call with 911. And as you call that, they look very puzzled in the direction of this woman, in this person, and you are gone. Completely gone. The crunch of that balcony is the only thing left. And they are left with this remembrance of the ghost that was just here a few moments. I want you to give me just one more dexterity plus stealth roll with your added bonus here, just to see if you can hide long enough for a moment that you can get away from these people. Because really, the only way out is jumping off the balcony again or going through their room.
As we've established, a bad idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 5.
Another 5.
It's the only thing I can do.
Successes. There is a long, arduous hour and 30, 2 hours of you waiting on this balcony, concentrating on everything that is your curse to stay in the shadow on this balcony as the crying club couple finally get hotel employees to come into the room, then police, then paramedics who get called off and sent back. The police and the hotel employees come in. The club couple explain in exasperated, terrified tones, "We swear they were right here and they hit the balcony and they were bleeding. We were trying to get into Caesars tonight." And they're just going on and on and on. And the police, obviously used to dealing with a lot of Las Vegas people, immediately come to this conclusion that they probably got drunk and hit the balcony. There's this discussion. There's talk of, cooling it with the drinks, and the hotel obviously talks about removing this from their room. We're so sorry, it's going to have to come out of your bill. And eventually, the two sobbing couple left alone in this hotel room keep assuring themselves, "You saw them, right?" "Yeah, I saw them." And while they're sort of tending to each other, you slip out in between and make your way out of the Aria Hotel, dooming this couple to like a egregious hotel bill. But alive, with aggravated damage, a lot of pain. You're hobbling, you're hurting, insane, basically, that this happened to you, and that somehow you're still with us. But nonetheless, you are.
Despite my giggling as a player, Mal has been shaking with absolute terror, confusion, frustration, rage, just on a loop. And eventually crawls back to their church.
Give me a rouse check just to heal your superficial damage, get you out of that mess at least.
And guess what it is?
That's you get hungrier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's at least just get you some food then. Let's roll that you at least ate out of here. Let's call it manipulation plus persuasion to see if you can feed that night to save yourself from all of the shit that's happened.
Everything I'm rolling is a hunger die.
Beautiful. Good luck.
I'm
Beautiful.
so sorry, everyone.
Live your lives, follow your dreams.
Great start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Silence is deafening.
Yeah.
I have no successes.
Okay. Here's the thing. We're going to slake your hunger, but mark a stain as you feed Messy tonight. Enough that it doesn't look good on you. And since you feed at the asylum, there's maybe something that will come up between you and Bride and your time
Sure.
there. So we'll mark a stain, and we'll assume that the consequences, maybe you're not being so subtle at the asylum like you're supposed to be.
Where do I mark stain?
It should be the superficial version of your humanity, essentially. Or just mark anywhere on your sheet that you've got
Okay.
one stain. That we can
I'll just write it in.
And remember, guys, stains sort of the version of marks against your humanity that haven't actually happened yet. You remove them before you actually lose humanity. Enough, and you become more of the beast. Okay, Mal, you had one last conversation you want to have this summer. I'm assuming this is weeks later after you have come around on some of these things that have happened to you this summer. Will handle the aggravated damage healing off screen in between this session and the next so that we can see just how hungry you get and whether it causes more trouble for you. But we can assume you've at least healed the superficial and you're feeling a lot better. This is weeks later. After the meeting with HH, you said that you wanted to give a call to someone. Did you want to go through with that?
Yeah, I think it's not really like we probably haven't even gotten far from HH's. We're probably still walking back to Baby Blue, and I think Mal will just kind of pluck at the back of Burrows' shirt and kind of jerk their head back to toward the back of the pack.
Nice night.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah. Very observant of you. Right.
Yeah. So a lot happened that I'll explain at some point to everyone because I think it's going to start affecting everyone. But I've been reconsidering our conversation about the church.
You saying you want me to baptize you? Well, what do you mean?
Fuck no. Absolutely not. Sorry, that was
your church.
my church. Yeah, not the church as like a concept, but my specific church.
I'll look to the others and see, kind of look back at them, and you saying you're okay if I try to have that midnight gospel at your place?
For a trade, yes.
What's the trade?
I just need you to have my back.
Well, you know, Mal, I always got your back. It's easy.
Specifically with your sword.
Like I gotta use it?
If the opportunity arises, I'd appreciate it.
So we're trading access to your church for I have to kill a guy for you.
Kinda, yeah.
You've been good to me, and this is an awfully gracious gesture on your part. After what I did, I understand. I'd be a fool to not accept. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, man.
Okay. We're gonna have rules. We're gonna set up rules for the Midnight Gospel, okay?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of rules, like how much money you get for this,
No.
how
Not
much
even-
blood.
Not even that. I mean, you and me are gonna have rules about who can go where and what you can have in there. I don't want any fucking old, young, skinny white twink with a thorn crown anywhere.
Is that a reference to something I'm supposed to know, or?
I don't want any Jesus anywhere.
Oh, no actual religious paraphernalia?
No.
Damn, it's gonna be hard to tell everybody we're a church if there's no sign of it.
I mean, you can have Catherine of Siena. That's the church that it is. So if you want a saint, you can have a saint. That one saint.
All right, I like your thinking. I see what you're saying. Non-denominational, get everybody in on it. I like your business sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure. No one goes upstairs. No one goes downstairs. They stay on one floor.
All right, well, we'll when we're installing lights and stuff, we might need to go upstairs, but we'll have that conversation when we get there. Yeah, I mean, this sounds great. I appreciate it, man.
Okay, and you just... I want it to... You can't let anyone... Just have my back, okay?
Look, I've seen the movie The Godfather. I know what you're implying. You need me to do something for you. Count me in. It's fine.
Okay,
Cover
great.
my ass more than one occasion.
Yeah, And I don't hate your singing. I like hearing you sing, so I get something out of it too. So, thanks,
Well,
I guess.
That's probably the damn near sweetest thing anyone said to me in a long time. So I appreciate that. You're gonna hear a lot of it in your church coming up soon enough.
Yeah, that'll be nice. As long as I don't have to participate, right? I don't have to participate.
If no one's looking, you can participate.
Okay.
Everybody likes to sing, Mal. Give me a break. Don't be so tough.
No.
And I'll just bust out into song and start like leading the way back to the car.
Whatever tension was kind of like settling up in Mal's shoulders and kind of like bringing him up starts to loosen a little bit, and they kind of keep in Burrows' shadow as the rest of them walk back.
In the days following the meeting with HH, the church is filled with organ music again as Burrows begins to very fast move in. I'm sure of it. And I'm sure soon enough JT Dollar will get a chance to see the insides as well. With that, we're going to move to Niles. Niles, do you want to give us a little update on what's been going on for Niles over this summer? What some things that have changed, some things that moved around? What's going on with Niles?
Couple of things. Niles has established a small business, a tattoo shop known as the Four Crows. Niles has also been doing some house renovating, trying to tidy up Bubblegum Mansion into something somewhat both within the tolerance of the Masquerade as well as a nice new home for Spoons. And the rest of the time has either been fulfilling my debts to Cisco and being a part of the Watchdogs, and spending time with Hugh and the Anarchs on Fremont Street.
Very good. Niles, it has been eerily quiet for you this summer. The moves that you have made have been successful. Meetings with Hugh have calmed down, and it has become almost mundane in the amount that you guys get to spend time together. It's becoming regular. Even Cisco has started to take a liking to you. The two of you spend so many evenings very quietly, abundantly quiet in Ubers around Las Vegas in the back seats, going from investigation to investigation, you reporting back to them of all the things you've been noticing throughout the streets. And one day, in the heat of summer, you are told directly by Cisco to appear at a location in McCarran Airport by word of Santos to assist with what they call an unboxing.
Yeah.
Perfect. It is a lonely drive out to McCarran. Do you take an Uber?
No, I'll take my bike.
Okay. There's no long Uber drive. There's no strange Uber driver to talk to you. It seems that profession is dying out in this city. On your bike, driving through the city, the traffic is rough, but eventually you do get to McCarran right there by the strip, and you pull up. You pull through to the gate that you were told to. It's this off the main airport drag where obviously this is where they do a lot of storing of the planes and cargo and such. And there is a private plane that has been parked into the garage itself, and out of it is these large crates that have been set sitting in the hay that they've been used to be packed in. And Cisco is standing next to them, Santos as well. Santos looks a little worse for wear. He's still wearing that green utility coat, almost something off of a Vietnam vet, still patched in, something he bought from like in surplus army store, essentially. But he looks grayer around the beard, if that's possible for a vampire. There's just something about this kindred that looks like they haven't been doing so well. But they're standing next to Cisco, very quiet. And when you arrive, they hand you a crowbar. They say, well, these two are for you. We're going to leave you to it. And Cisco says goodbye to you. Santos shakes your hand, and the two of them go walking off, clearly in conversation, almost as though Cisco and Santos had been having a discussion before you got there, and they kind of picked it back up once you arrived. But with that crowbar in hand, they kind of leave you alone in this garage.
I'll try to follow the gaze of Cisco and Santos until they're far out of sight, and I'll palm the crowbar for a couple minutes and head over there and open the nearest crate.
Okay. The nearest you open, you crack it through, and there is this huge packing material. And as the top comes over, there is a coffin, heavily embroidered, marked with so many different reliefs across the surface that it almost looks like to run your hand along it to touch every new crevice and texture to it. It is metal and ancient. It almost looks like those old Iron Maidens. It is in the shape of a person's body, even has a head and everything to it, and extends the entirety of the duration. It is locked tight, but it does not seem to be, it's shut tight, but it doesn't seem to be locked.
Before I open that, I'll open the other box too, so I can try to figure out both of them before I pick and choose which I open first.
You open the other box and you find a familiar sight as the top cracks open and the hay kind of buffets out of it. And inside this very large, Ark of the Covenant box is Raguel with his hands crossed over in an X and his book, a new book, clasped between his fingers. No beanie. His eye looks very different. His main eyes are closed, but the third is open, which Raguel will describe for you in just a moment. And he is wearing robes that match Mokur's. He's not half clothed, he's fully clothed, but they are in these ceremonial, almost monastic robes in blacks and reds that run across the length of his body.
I just dropped the crowbar out of the unexpectedness of seeing Raguel's face in a box once again. And
Raguel, you are awake. You've been awake for the entirety of the journey here, or at least until night took over the plane. And as that, shuffling of wood cracks open, you're visited with a sight of Niles, a couple months older, all tatted up and ready to rock.
We gotta quit meeting like this.
Yeah, I don't think I like every single time we've met this way.
I don't think I do either.
I don't have the capacity to ask you things right now. So Niles reaches a hand and tries to help him to his feet.
He'll take it and, book in one hand, Niles' hand in the other, and he'll stand up.
And Niles, the last...
Oh, go ahead.
The last that you saw of Raguel was in a state of torpor, his body decaying to reflect the corpse-like nature of the day he left, and an awareness that he was going away for maybe forever, weak and taken by Mokur. But now he looks revitalized, maybe even stronger, different, physically more confident, a bizarre sereneness to him. I'll let Vince describe the rest.
Yeah, the robes kind of hang off of him, but the third eye in the middle of his forehead now is no longer that. The flesh around it is no longer like cracked and broken looking. It looks like a very natural third eye just in his forehead, like any other. But the iris is gold, is like this pure, bright, almost bird-like gold.
I didn't think you were going to be back in the city anytime soon.
Oh, yeah. I woke up in Louisiana, of all places.
Why there?
We had to meet with some people. Things are happening. Niles, I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. And we've got a lot of work to do.
I'll text the group chat then.
If you don't mind.
What's that? And I'll point to the other box with the whole thing in there.
Last time it was Mal. I don't know what that is. I wouldn't know what that is, right, Caleb?
You do. It's Mokur.
Oh, I do? Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. That would be Mokur.
Oh, what are we supposed to do with that?
I'm going to give you this to hang on to. I'll take the crowbar. I'll get him up.
Niles, you swap items, giving the crowbar to Raguel, and now you are holding this very strange book that is almost the size of your chest. It's massive. It is made with a kind of vellum you don't recognize that may be even human skin, you get the feel. It does not feel great in your hands. It is carved with similar tattoos to Mokur, and the pages are frayed and old and broken. And a lot of the language, if you choose to flip through or even look at the cover, are runic in nature, runes you don't recognize. And it feels awful to hold.
I'm holding it out from a distance because I don't know what to do with it. While I watch Raguel open the Mokur.
Yeah.
Cracking open Mokur's coffin, you find that he is awake as well, as bald as ever, with that triangular bleeding eye and all of those tattoos that dot him. This time he is not in a half-naked state. He is wearing his robes, but on his top he is wearing a bright sage green shirt that reads, "I love Nola." And it has a depiction of Bourbon Street behind it. It looks very out of place on what is the Devil Monk. And he looks very serene as Raguel frees him and steps up and sort of blindly steps into frame. Doesn't even really regard Niles, but looks to you, Raguel, and says, and so we will have meeting to discuss the ritual, yes?
We will.
You have done me proud, and I have seen you grow, and soon the Lamb will know why he chose you.
Yes, he will.
And he reaches forward and he touches his third eye to your third eye, and Niles, they hold this intimate hold for way longer than you would think. And then finally Mokur breaks. He claps Raguel on the shoulders and then walks off into the darkness of the McCarran Airport Strip, sort of out into the rest of Vegas, leaving you with Raguel.
Fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
It is good to see you again, though.
Likewise.
Everyone okay? Well, I mean, relatively speaking, after the twins.
Everybody's been more or less keeping busy on their own things. I don't really hang out with anybody much unless we have something exciting to do.
Niles, it strikes you, Raguel has mentioned the twins, something Raguel wasn't even awake for.
How did you know about the Kingsters, Allison?
Like I said, I saw things.
Like
It's
what's
like I was there.
so cool? Well, then I don't have to tell you anything that has happened. Then I can save that for Sybil or Burrows.
No, you don't.
We can drive in silence.
We can drive in silence now. Excellent. You're gonna have to ride with me, I guess, on the back of my bike. Or you can take an... Well, no, you shouldn't take an Uber. Niles just does not know what to do with this right now.
I know this is super awkward for you, so I appreciate everything. I will ride with you on your bike if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, fine. I got it. I'm gonna text people, and then we'll get on the way, and I will hit the group chat and tell them I've found somebody, and I'm bringing them to them, and getting unless Cisco or Santos needs me for anything else.
They're gone. Left you completely alone.
They left completely.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were like waiting outside or anything.
Nope.
But if not, then I will put Raguel on the back of my bike. Look at the eye for a second and notice that he's not concealing in any way. Don't know if that's okay, but I kick my bike on and start.
Is there a hood on the robes?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to be on the back of a bike. The wind's going to blow it off anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep my head down real low against Niles' back.
Let it fly, Raguel. Let him breathe.
Baby.
Should have a helmet.
Get the dogs out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'll kick the bike on and I will drive to whatever central location we've agreed to meet during meetings. And bring Raguel there.
There is a reunion between all of you. Let's say at Club Canaan, our decrepit little abandoned space that we haven't decided what happens to it next. But you all meet there, circled beneath the dim bar lights. No furniture added to this place. We were working on it. There's still the dog house that a beloved member used to sleep in, and the bodies downstairs in the fridges. And a lot of remnants of Allison's sculptures and artwork that you all have stuck onto just to keep her in memory.
Yeah, it's probably like still frozen in time. Like it probably hasn't changed at all. And it's just now forever.
Yeah. It's probably still got like the blood, the bullets, and the trash from when we slaughtered like 20 people in here.
Yeah,
all of the above.
The majority of you meet up. Is there discussion with Raguel? Do we get caught up? Do we want to see that happen? Do we want to keep moving forward? I'm open to whatever.
I just know that when Raguel comes in, Burrows kind of bear hugs him, and it's just really loud and boisterous. Probably makes a comment that it's like when his cousin got out of jail. Just like it's just like so exciting, and he's just very positive and very happy to see Raguel.
We'll just catch up. Yeah, because we've established that the discussion won't happen until after the meeting with HH. So
yes. So with that in mind, I think we're going to skip to that discussion. We take weeks. Raguel is brought back into the fold. All of you have accomplished what Sybil did, what Mal did, what HH happened. We brought Raguel back, and on a Saturday, sometime after all of this, you all come together in the bowels of Club Canaan, of the former Lucky's Bar, to discuss what comes next. But before we get to that discussion, I'd like to introduce you all to someone new. Jackie, you have been in Vegas only a short time, but you came with a mission given to you by your sire. One that we have been working hard for over this summer, at the same point that people were falling out of buildings, meeting Howard Hughes, and solving the world's politics issues. Now, for you, Jackie, could you give me an idea of where Jackie is staying in Las Vegas and how she looks and where she finds herself on this Saturday? You're in your haven, you're in your place. Tell us all about it, Jackie.
So, Jackie is actually due to not just staying, knowing that this is possibly going to be a longer trip than previously, has actually not just got like a hotel room, was actually arranged, I would say like almost an Airbnb, a house actually. So if anything, she has, I would say, let's go with a ranch style single floor with a basement.
Hell yeah.
She does have, I would say, you will see an SUV parked in the driveway. In this house, it's going to actually be like nice furniture enough that you would say like, okay, sit down, but it's the appearance of a normal kind of, and also boxes. So she's moving in. So it might show to the neighbors, like a new neighbor is moving in. Mm-hmm. The garage that it's attached to, even though there's an SUV parked in the driveway, the garage door will be closed. That's going to be kind of an extra workstation, if you will.
Got it.
But when people actually see Jackie for the first time, she is, I would say, very well put together. You'll see her in black jeans, purple tank, probably breaking stuff down. She's actually, I would say, you will see stacks, a lot of books, especially on journalism, on a lot of different medias of like also worldwide, not just, you'll see books from the Middle East and South America, ranging from occult to, I would say, medical books from hematology and all of that. You also see things of the occult. So you will see little trinkets. Like if there's any kind of personality, it'll be in the trinkets of like the art and knickknacks from especially Middle Eastern and European.
You are in the middle of breaking down something that strikes very familiar from you, from one of the first missions ever given to you by your divine purpose, by your sire. And it is this beautiful, ornate, curved dagger that sits underneath a display case. And you're in there trying to discover where that thing might fit. Where do you end up putting it? Where does this dagger go?
This dagger is, Jackie, and also what you'll notice is Jackie's actually quite tiny. Jackie is literally 5'2". Even everything about her is just smaller in stature, but very, I would say, just, I want to give off like a kindergarten teacher, like of good and like, just like very nice face. Very kind of like meek, not really stands out a lot, high ponytail, but even though her hands are tight, this dagger is quite intimidating. She is going to, it's very treasured, she's going to put it into a little sheath, leather, and then you're going to see kind of like an extra strap, and then you'll notice her assembling almost like where she was going to attach this onto a harness. So you could see that this knife is going to be on a harness, but also you'll see on the side a belt with a lot of vials, maybe some little boxes, little flasks. You will see glasses, like of tubes. You will definitely see containers of blood. So you will see like even little blood beds, petri dishes. You will see signs of her blood sorcery. That it cannot be hide because that requires a lot of equipment and actually a lot of little things on standby. So you will actually see it quite organized in like boxes of like ash, powder, and other things that she's organizing.
You're organizing, you're putting this harness together, you're strapping it in because you know that you're about to go off on a lead that finally has come through for you.
Yes.
And about to discover why you're here. You do see, as you put that dagger into the sheath, you see the letter just below it, or at least the note that was left for you by your sire, Kaloda. And it reads, you will do more than anyone who has ever lived, my feather. I will see you rise.
You'll see like Jackie will actually, you'll see like, because it's in a little note, that little note, she will put that probably in a little in the container, like one of her like containers, like actually put it in a little special spot to prop it up. That is something that she would just like to have that propped up.
Beautiful. So you put that message from Kaloda up. Another reminder, good to hear before you're about to step out. And then you get a call from one of your sources. Now, I would like you to make a roll for me, and let's decide how well this source does in telling you where it is you need to be tonight.
Okay.
Let me get a wits plus investigation to see how well your source did.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay, not bad.
Here we go.
Why am I nervous? Dear
I
Lord.
know. First roll, you got it.
Roll.
4 successes.
Hell yeah, Amanda. Here we go. Jackie starts out. You get a call. It picks up. The name on the phone itself is Lie, a trick you picked up to hide your sources, just in case anyone were to see your phone come up. But when you answer the other side, this very chipper, manic little voice on the other side speaks up. So I think I know where they're going to be tonight if you want to see them.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So I caught wind that their new one is back. The one with the third eye, the Salubri you were talking to me about, yes?
Tell me more.
So I think that they're meeting at their club tonight, Club Canaan in Naked City.
The one that, the one that we scoped out before, the one that was their old little haunt.
Right. The broken down fences. We drove around for a few hours. No one came through. It doesn't really seem like they used it all that much, but it seems like maybe they're getting together now.
Now.
It seems like they've got something important tonight. Came in like a bat out of hell. That blue convertible I was telling you about, and then the 2 bikes too.
Okay. Thank you. I will take. Thank you. I look forward to hearing more soon. Bye.
Perfect. Bye.
With that, Jackie's going to go ahead and immediately. You'll see her very almost little stylistic and military. You're going to see her like assemble this belt with her vials sheath, and then she's going to put on a very thick red hoodie right on top. So like the one I'm wearing, much setting. It is very, very heavy, and then she's going to go ahead and grab her SUV. I will say though, is it possible, instead of driving directly, she is going to drive but not park directly near Club Canaan?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're getting close, but you're not parking in the parking lot.
Correct.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, could you roll me a stealth plus dexterity? Let's see.
I'm very glad you said that.
Yeah, stealth plus dexterity. Just, you know what? Let's make this stealth plus wits, actually, to see how well you park away.
Okay. All right. Wits, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wits and stealth.
Gotcha. And stealth, thank you. 5 roll. And we got All right, not the best. I got a 2. 2 successes.
We'll call 2 a success. I don't think that anyone's looking out for anyone tonight. You park far enough. What's the move once you're parked?
Once I move, I'm going to also reach under my glove compartment, and I'm going to pull out kind of like a thick, it looks like a medical folder, but it's actually kind of like what police and like what has investigation, so it's multiple.
Like a dossier?
Yes, you're going to see me pull out one of those thick dossiers, and then I'm going to just tuck that sucker under, and Jackie's going to go ahead and pull out her, like, these very stylish glasses, put them on, mostly because she, even though she looks very kind of innocent, but her eyes can sometimes give it away, so she tries to cover them. So you'll notice her wearing glasses, and
she's a poker player. She's hiding to tell.
And she's going to go ahead and activate Silence of Death.
Okay.
So as she's walking, and I'm going to do another one, Unseen Passage. Okay. So because it's a free rouse check, free action, Silence of Death, she starts walking, so you will not be able to hear any of that, like stomping or anything like that.
Do you have to rouse check for either of those?
I only have to rouse check for Unseen Passage, which I will do now.
Go ahead and give me that now.
Success.
Perfect. Okay, so you're not even hungrier for this.
No.
You are a shadow. You are gone. You are not even there. Are you walking all the way up to the club? Are you just trying to get close to get an eye through a window? Are you passing the broken gates? What's the plan?
I would like to do, because I know the back entrance of this club actually has an underground passage through the basement. Is there any way I can just go ahead, go up through the basement, so where everyone is at, they will not see me coming up through the front door?
Give me a dexterity plus stealth. I'm just going to lower the DC, considering that you're silent, invisible, all those things.
Okay, let me just grab that. And that's a 5 successes.
Beautiful. Okay. Consider yourself in the lower floor of Club Canaan. And as Jackie steps in, harness close to their hoodie, dossier in hand, stepping in cool, glasses on the tip of their nose there, I'm going to move the camera back a little and pan it up a floor to the arrival and the sitting of all of the engine in the main room of Club Canaan, as everyone's around the furniture, maybe the one couch we've got left, someone's positioned on the bar. You guys want to tell me how this looks, what the vibe is on the first major meeting of season 2?
Raguel's probably just sitting like very still, peaceably, just by the bar or in an area where everyone can kind of gather around, those who desire to. His Sermon on the Mount.
Well, I know it's been a little while you've been out and all, but I had everybody chip in, got you a little something, Raguel, and Burrows turns around and he's got a brand new beanie for him. It says like "I love Vegas" or something on it, and I noticed you didn't have your old one, so I figured, here you go.
This means a lot, Burrows. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. He'll slide it on.
That was actually a little bit more of a test on Burrows' part to be like, is he now a dude who doesn't wear the beanie, or is he cool with wearing the beanie? So that's interesting.
Burrows approves.
It's the Burrows approved beanie.
Burrows will remember that, yeah.
And he is wearing, he's out of his robes obviously now at this point, but he's wearing like a white dress shirt that's buttoned all the way up to the collar, wrists buttoned, black dress pants, black, like he looks like to blend in a little bit better.
Well, now that we got the team all back, what's the plan? Anybody got any bright ideas about how we can make some money in this town?
Sybil is behind the bar, keeping basically where they can keep an eye on Raguel the entire time. They're not like eyeing you, but they are keeping you in focus. Well, we as a coterie owe a major boon to the echelon, everybody now. So that's something we don't have to really spend time on. That's just sort of passive. When it comes, we should be prepared for that.
When do we not owe them our lives? When do we not owe them for keeping our heads? This is nothing new. Mal says from their perch in the corner on the bar.
Right. This just is it's like a little ticket that can be called upon. There's a little bit more of a ritual to it, but effectively, yes, Mal, you're right.
They're saying they get something from us, even though they already get everything from us. What else is new?
Well,
That's the game they play.
Yeah.
What are they saying they need from us?
Find Kerr, find the other half of the disc, key, whatever you want to call it. I tried to leave a little bit of smoke still in front of that because I think that should be ours, but the moment that we get a beat on it, they need to know something.
I know you all were at the bottom of the... Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it. We're allowed to live and they're watching us always. Regular stuff. Go ahead.
I know you all found the door at the bottom of the lake. Sentinel, right? I am Sentinel. I was asleep. I wasn't asleep. I was in pain for... It felt like years. It felt like every nerve ending in my body was on fire. Black, just nothing but black. And I thought I was going crazy. I thought I would go crazy. I thought if I ever woke up again, Ethan and Raguel would be dead and something else would be in its place, because it was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. It was fire and pain and agony, and then it was light. And then I was someplace else, and I was back in Vegas. I was back in my old apartment, but outside was different. A lot different. It was Vegas, but the moon was bigger. Like it was colliding with the earth. It was about to. It was massive. It was dark. Remember those those formations we saw, the white animal gangrel things outside of Vegas? Hordes of them, all marching towards Vegas. And at the front of them was a horse, bigger than any horse I've ever seen, but black fur, a skull in place of its head, and it was leading the way. And I knew it was Sentinel, or what's called Sentinel, the thing on the door, right? Horse skull.
So Sentinel's got plans. It's not just this inanimate thing.
No, Sentinel's behind that door, and we got to keep that door closed because, well, what happens next? I was back. I was back in my old office, and there was a picture on the screen of me and someone I used to know, and Rufus was there, and this homeless man I'd never seen before. Middle Eastern descent, but he had these pupilless white eyes. 6 different coats. His pants were rolled up past his ankles, and on his ankles were these brands. They resembled like stalks of wheat. That was from the door too, right? There was like these engravings on the door, and it looked like that. But his feet were decayed. They were rotten. There was bone showing through. And then I moved. It was a screensaver right up on the monitors, right? Like I'm back at my office. I'm Ethan again. I'm back at my office, back at my desk. I moved the mouse. And there's an article that I was working on. The title was Keeper. And it was by Raguel, and then there was Hebrew beneath it. And it said the meal of the brother. It's something connected to Cain, something connected to Abel, like Keeper, brother's keeper, right? I've been having visions of this rock from the beginning, from when I died. This gray rock with blood and hair, and on it is written Keeper. It's the rock that Cain used to kill Abel. It all goes back to Cain and Abel. And this article, there's pictures, and there's bodies piles of bodies on Fremont Street. There's 2 people walking among them. I can't tell who they are. The strip has collapsed. The buildings are gone. There's an inferno burning out in the north. There's normal people, citizens. Yeah. But there's a wall surrounding Vegas now. It's medieval. Ancient artwork. There's sand piled up against it. It's like it's been there forever. And then there's a castle in the middle of the strip built from all the remnants of the buildings that used to be there. I look away, I look back, and then there's a giant fucking boulder in the middle of Vegas with the word Keeper written on it. And it all comes back to Keeper. But if that door opens, that's what we're in for. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, we all knew it was a fucking weird door. Everybody wants at it, but
they don't know what they're
Can't we just
doing.
kind of run our own things and do our own things? Like, is this really our problem?
Burrows, they're going to get their hands on those keys. And we all know they're going to do anything they can to keep themselves in power. It doesn't matter who it is, if it's the Anarchs, if it's the Camarilla. Anarchs will use that door to destroy the Camarilla. Camarilla will use it to destroy everybody else. But they don't know what they're unleashing. They don't know what they're letting out. They don't know that it's just going to come for them too. I mean, it doesn't... HH was wrong. It doesn't matter who opens that door. And I'm telling you right now, Underwood and the Lamia, they've got something to do with it. One of the last visions I had before I went, Underwood was there and he was covered in these Saints' tears. Remember the Saints' tears we got from 3 Foot? He was covered in that stuff and he was holding the door open for someone, a female figure. I couldn't see who it was or what it was, but he was holding the door open for her. It's definitely a her. And then they were waiting for someone else, and I think they were waiting for Sentinel. Because the person that was there that I was close with said, "Don't open that door." And they're waiting for someone. And so whatever the Lamia are up to, whatever that whole Saints' Tears thing was up to, that's all part of it. It's all part of the process.
I mean, it sounds like to me, maybe one of our options is just we have to go about figuring out how to make sure nobody gets access to this door. Our own little campaign of making sure nobody gets through. We kind of discussed this when all this hell came to fruition at first.
I mean, first things first, if we can get our hands on that second key and destroy it, I mean, nobody can use it to open the door. I mean, it's done, right?
Is it something that takes a lot to destroy? It's just an object at the end of the day, right? We can just crush it or something.
That's what the first one looked like, right? It was just clay or stone or something. I mean, you fucking smash it hard enough and long enough, it'll break.
I'd sure hate to break something that everybody wants. It's really going to come down on us if we do something like that.
Yeah, it's.
I don't feel like being a martyr.
No, I know. But there's, apart from Laudna, who's very interested in keeping that door closed, who do we trust to do the right thing with it?
Is it wild to say the Second Inquisition? I'm not saying that we clue them in consciously, but if they already hate us, and that's something all of our enemies know.
What do people want more than anything? Even living, breathing people.
Power. Mm-hmm. They just can't understand what it is. But
They can't. Everybody needs to see for themselves, right? There is no faith. There's only just seeing.
Well, I'll tell you this, seeing is definitely, wow, really hard to believe, Ethan. Holy
What the
shit.
fuck?
I'm sorry.
Do
We'll
I
let
see
this little
you
thing
now?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
stepping.
go ahead and step out of the shadows. And
Are you visible, Jackie?
yes, I'm blatantly visible.
So from the bottom floor, stepping up from the stairs, is this small, unassuming form in this hoodie, shorter on the sides. Yeah. Ethan, you roll me a wits plus awareness, Ethan.
Yeah, you bet.
Burrows is giggling from like being surprised at her appearance, but then like seeing how small she is, he like kind of brushes it off.
Malice
That's 4
standing
successes.
4 successes. I won't even have you exist in vagity. You know this woman. She's a journalist. In fact, years ago when you were both alive, there was a bit of a squabble back and forth when both of you were in the news for powerful stories. Yours, of course, being local reporting and hers being wartime reporting. And there was a lot of discussion within the circles on whether one or the other was a hack, whether you were both hacks, and who hated each other more, and who was more powerful than the other. And while it never rose to actual animosity, of course, you remember Ethan, you remember Jackie.
Yeah.
You ever win that Pulitzer?
Didn't live long enough for it.
Close.
Didn't
Wait,
live long enough.
Two of you know each other?
Like, hi.
Not like
actually,
this, though. You're one of us now?
Trust me, when I saw your name pop up, I had to do a double take when I saw it as well. So, evening, everybody. Hi. Hello. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm actually, name's Jackie. Jackie Santana. You can call me Jackie.
Before
Santana, I don't
Jackie
know.
goes forward,
Yes.
is anyone worried about this situation? Is there anyone taking hackles up? Are we taking Ethan at his word? Are there any moves we would like to make while Jackie introduces themselves?
Yeah.
Niles is positioning themselves closer to the exit.
Got it. Niles goes for the exit. Anybody else?
I just want to sense the beast
Sense the beast.
on Jackie,
Ah.
which is
What does Sense the Beast do for you?
it basically allows me to see if they have any hostility. There's a little bit more if I crit. Like I can see clearly they're kindred, but what kind of kindred?
Do you
It's
want to
a-
make an active roll then?
Yeah, it's
Go for it.
resolve and animalism on my end, and then Jackie, composure and subterfuge on yours.
Jackie, give me a composure plus subterfuge.
I will gladly do that.
Oh shit!
I think you're going up against a big pool here.
I failed all of them. I got
Okay.
0.
I succeed on all of them. 5 successes.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
Jackie, do you mean harm to these people?
Absolutely not. It is very.
Absolutely not.
And
Okay.
if possible, I would like to actually. Jackie's gonna go to each one and shake like, "Hi, I'm Jackie," and try to get your names officially.
Can I also? Does this count as a crit if I get all successes? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it a crit. Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
information would you like?
I just want to know about your hunger and your resonance. But I think that is something that Sybil gets when they take your hand and shake it. And
Jackie,
just sort of-
you're pretty normal, right? 2 hunger?
I'm actually at 0 hunger right now.
Oh.
I from how I thought we were starting off, like I probably would have fed earlier, especially
Right.
with how I feed.
But you didn't kill when you fed, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
so you're just at 1.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 1.
That's fine. She relaxes a little bit.
And resonance, it doesn't seem to come into play here.
No.
Does it read clan? I don't think it tells you what clan they are, do they?
No, just exact type of creature, but
There you
nothing
go.
else.
Kindred. You get the sense that they're kindred. Okay. Jackie shakes all of your hands. Does everyone take the hand?
Yeah.
No.
Niles doesn't.
Gives you a big no. Niles gives you a no.
Love a good handshake.
Mouse just circled around behind in the shadows, in between the basement stairs and Jackie,
Got it.
just watching.
Burrows is entirely too naive. He doesn't throw up a single kindred ability. He just, welcomes her in, and he just is delighted by how small this little thing is. And... So, Jackie, what you got to tell us?
quite a bit, actually. And I'm going to just slap my big folder. Like, I know you're in the shadows, but you might want to see this. So I'm going to open the folder up, and I'm going to just show, like, any and everything I have on Vegas. You're going to see sections devoted to each and every one of you. And
there are exposés into the prince. There is a breakdown tree of the Camarella's ivory tower. There are a few names missing that you know, but for the most part, being outside of Las Vegas, it's pretty impressive to know the inner circle that much. There are Anarch names being named. Ellis has an expose. And then the fattest of the folder deals with an individual page on each one of you, starting with Ethan and then working back to Burrows. And the Kingsters have their own pages as well. They're separated from that grouping. But essentially, it lists locations you've been seen at, usual haunts you go about, routines, how you may like to feed, very cursory, basic things, but enough to show that maybe you've been tailed when you didn't realize. It's not as in-depth to the point where, like, Jackie doesn't necessarily know about the church or Bubblegum Mansion or anything like that, but Jackie does know about your routines and about the big splashes you've made. For example, in Mal's folder, there is security footage, snapshots of the hospital and everything that went down that night. And then the most recent addition is a newspaper article about a possible suicide off the balcony of the Aria Hotel that then was proven to be a hoax. In addition...
Why would you assume that's me? What the fuck?
Well, your attitude didn't just give that away.
That flipped the page, and it goes on to Niles, and there is some interesting theories that Jackie has been going into on why Niles has come to Las Vegas, and there is a page on that. It has gone nowhere. It's mostly just guesswork right now, but it's clear that it was a question Jackie was trying to answer. We get to the Burrows section, and Burrows, could you make a wits plus awareness?
Yeah, stand by. Wits plus awareness, which I don't think is high, but oh no, it's okay. Here we go. That's 5 successes.
Burrows, even from the first glance of your page, you're very worried that this thing is going to call you Elvis. You're very worried that Jackie might be so close to that it's barely even a theory anymore. You can do what you will with this information. Maybe you switch the page real quick and go, whatever you may do here. But if that information is let out, the others reading might see some credible theories and evidence to the point that you might be a certain rock star.
Yeah, I think he probably would try to make an attempt to pull the page out and be like, oh, let's see what you got about me. And I'm just trying to get it away from everybody.
Beautiful.
I'll let it totally happen. Let it. I kind of be like... Okay.
For the others, let's get your roll to see on whether they allow you to do this without any sort of hackles being drawn. Let's do a charisma. Actually, let's do this persuasion plus dexterity. How quick
Should I be doing any kind of opposed roll or no?
No opposed roll. We'll just blanket this and make it a grand DC for everybody else. So just Burrows rolling here. Burrows is doing dexterity and persuasion.
Okay. I'm technically gaslighting them, aren't I?
Sure. Yeah. Throw your gaslight in there.
Yeah.
We just need gatekeep, and then we'll have them all. We've got girl boss. We've got gaslight.
We're keeping the door closed. We got gatekeep.
You're all gatekeepers.
We're all gatekeepers.
With one
That's the new
success
name.
all day, it's not a hard DC. Burrows runs off with his little page, and everyone chalks it up to him being him. The page on Sybil actually has, for the rest of you, if you look long enough, or if Sybil allows you long enough, there are a lot of pictures with Sybil and a young woman who is maybe a little bit older than Sybil. Beautiful. You think either half Latino or half African, you can't really tell. She's girl bossing just the same in this like cream orange pantsuit and a white dress shirt. Way too much chunky necklace, way too much chunky bracelet, huge heels, big poofed out, full blowout hair, and absolutely drop dead gorgeous, like an AOC type, standing next to Sybil in a bunch of pictures at like conventions, almost business conventions. Sybil, do you allow that page to stay visible to everybody for long enough for them to at least take in some of that information?
Yeah, I think Sybil just calmly goes to pick up the paper and reads it, and just puts it back down, flipped over, and says,
Okay.
Excellent homework.
Good.
Thank you.
And Ethan is the last. It has way more to do with your living before you died, Ethan, than it does after. I think you've been the hardest one for Jackie to crack, mainly because you've been down asleep in torpor or sitting in sewers for 4 months. So it's a little harder. Burrows, you had something to say.
Yeah, this is all very impressive, little Miss Jackie. Who are you working for? What's the point of all this?
This right here is the truth. Your truths. That's what I've come up with so far. And the thing you gotta know with me is that's how I will operate with you guys. And I will tell you my truth. My truth is that I'm here in Vegas because of you. All of you. I don't know if you guys are aware. You guys did a lot of stuff to require a lot of eyes very quickly on a group of baby vampires that you guys bring on a new second edition, and you get where I'm coming from. So that got attention a lot farther away than you realize, and that's where I come in.
So you're saying you're our babysitter or something?
No, I'm trying to find out why a prince would basically go to DEFCON 1 over a bunch of baby vampires.
So
I'm trying to
from the Camarilla then.
Oh, no. I'm not Camarilla, and I am not Anarch. That is I'm very clear on that. But I do, just so you know, I am diplomatic with both sides. Like they are diplomatic with me.
Banu, Hakim.
Bingo.
The Banu
guys-
who? I've never heard of that.
Banu,
Do
Hakim.
you know? What do you know about them?
Seekers like us.
What?
Judges, executioners, juries.
Big time.
Are we on trial?
Nah. In fact, you guys are my witnesses. You guys are my go-to. Because it occurred to us, it's not so much the small guys. It couldn't be. It has to come from up top. But which side? It's hard, because right now, things with the Camarilla, Anarchs, it's very tenuous right now. I'm here to give a third objective point of view, to find out where the real rot is coming from. And then you guys didn't, and then I heard apparently there's something about a key. And now this kind of makes a little bit more sense as to why a group of baby vampires has everybody's attention. Okay.
So what, you want to follow us around like a curious little cat just trying to figure us out?
Honestly, I'm just trying to get started off in the right steps. One thing I would like to do is be your guys' friend. Seriously, I'm new to town and trying to establish my own life here. It seems like I'm going to be here for a while, and it seems like out of everyone here, you guys will be the most truthful with me. Because out of everyone here, you guys know what is at stake on both sides. You have the Anarchs that don't trust you. Camarilla doesn't trust you. But this could be something that could be a helpful alliance. And I feel like if I just became very upfront with you to see what my capabilities are, to see what I can do, this is just a fraction.
Well, she's got guts. You got to admit that.
We'd rather have them with us than against us.
And if you have
just
questions,
Jackie,
if you have questions, please ask. I will be an open book. Really?
How old are you?
Like, how old do I appear? How long did I human lives?
Like kindred time.
Jackie, you're older than them. Not by
Yes.
much, but for sure.
I'm definitely a couple years older than you. No more than,
A decade, maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry. If it helps, Ethan here definitely knew me when I was alive.
yeah, we ran into each other in Iraq, Afghanistan.
He was a lot younger than, wow. What a beautiful thing. Like him.
Well, Jackie, I don't know if you know, but around Vegas, you don't just get to join groups and stuff.
I
You're gonna
can
have to kind
see
of prove
that.
yourself here. What's so impressive about you anyway? Besides you're real into stalking people.
Banu Hakim. Do you know anything about them?
You keep saying that word. No, I don't. Just sounds like
Okay.
some weird clan.
I'm gonna take my my knife out from under my hoodie.
Uh-huh.
Whoa,
Relax.
chill, baby.
Kill, baby, cool.
And I'm going to go ahead and like slice my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point is for like a pool of blood to get into my hand. Okay. And I'm going to do Scorpion's Touch, which
Okay.
is I will have to do a strength and blood sorcery check, but
Got it.
basically it's like I can create a poisonous paralyzing effect on blood.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to see is I'm going to take out a spider from one of my little tubes, like a little, just drop him on the table, and you're going to see me, as the little thing is crawling away, kind of just squeeze the blood back onto it as it drips onto the spider, and you will see it twitch, kind of bubble, do effectively a corrosive, very intense paralysis type poison onto the spider. You're going to see it twitch.
You watch as this spider curls its legs in, freeze in the paralysis of all of it, as the acid begins to eat away from the inside out. And you watch as it pools into this matter of half-congealed poisonous blood and the decay of the spider on the surface of the bar.
Hey,
Ew.
that hurt Kindred just as much as people.
The point of the Banu Hakim is for judgment and all that, and the best way to do judgment is to get the truth. And a lot of times, you have to be aggressive in getting the truth out of people. So
What
it
gives you the right to
works
judgment?
very well. That's what I'll say.
What gives you the right to be judgment, though? Did you just decide you guys were special enough to be in charge and make all of the rulings? What the fuck?
It's a selection process. It is, from my understanding, a lot more carefully vetted to become a Banu Hakim. You're just not given this.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, between Captain fucking Nightmare over here and you, will be well placed to be the most important people in fucking Vegas.
To you,
Hey.
yes.
Looks pretty useful
that's
to
not
me.
gonna stick, is it?
Hmm?
Captain Nightmare?
Yeah, that's not gonna stick, right?
Are you a captain?
I don't know. Are you gonna stick? Are you gonna fucking stay around?
I deserve that.
Not an answer.
I will. Yes.
As you can see, we are in a bit of a delicate spot as a coterie. I understand truth is important to you. We're gonna need a little bit more than just lies of omission.
That's fair.
We have several things moving right now. If you want to be a part of this coterie, I need to see some flexibility on your end.
Jackie,
It doesn't have to be tonight.
were you tracking the Lamia situation in the city?
They were on my radar. I'm just gonna get into it, by the way, and I'll be honest, this place is a shit show. There is so much shit going on. So what's going on with the Lamia?
Jackie, you can roll a wits plus investigation, and
Gotcha.
we'll decide how much you know about the Lamia situation.
Gotcha. Ooh.
That's a good question. I practically forgot about that Lamia situation. I was hoping it would solve itself.
We got a 6.
6.
Damn.
You know almost as much as the people in this room that the police force were working with a cartel to sell false tears of the Nephilim, essentially, to the Nosferatu, under the guise of it being a solution to their ugliness, but instead was the blood of a Lamia, which is, as you know, as corrosive as what you just did to a spider. And you know that they're operating out of the west side of Las Vegas, southwest, in a shipping company. And you know that a lot of ins and outs have been going through there through the work of a cartel working with the Lamia out of that shipping area.
So I'll be frank, as you could tell from my dossier, it doesn't have more than what you have on that. But I'm not.
Well, we've got names.
Yes, but the one thing, Ethan maybe can back and vouch for me. This is something that I do take serious. I don't fuck with corruption. I hate it. It's actually one of the reasons, I'll even be frank, it's one of the reasons I died. It is a personal vendetta. It is something I truly live, think, and breathe. That's my point. I hate it. I'm unearthing it. I'm annoying as fuck, and that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my unlife. So you guys are not my prey, if that makes sense. I have other people, and I have a feeling everyone here can help me with that.
So is that what we're starting with, looking into this whole Lamia thing?
It plays into all of this in some way, and we got to figure out how. I mean, and listen, the Hakata wanted you to go after them anyway. Maybe it can buy you some goodwill after you buried that fucking sword in Champagne Puttanesca's face.
I'll remind you that
there?
it buys you guys a lot of good in multiple directions. Bugsy asked for this,
Yeah.
as well as the Hikata, as well as it would get you information on the next. If Raguel's visions are to be trusted, then yeah, those must have something to do with the larger story of the keys.
I think it's a good idea.
I've got 3 names. We've got Total Transport Distribution. It's the name of the trucking company that's operating outside of Slum.
Jessica, he's already taking notes and already writing this stuff down.
And Tiago runs up the operation. Guy named Tiago.
You sure saw a lot in your visions, huh?
Well, that was before I took the stake to the chest. That was after I ripped out Underwood's throat.
We learned that from Underwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 3 foot gave us Tiago.
Yeah.
And then I think Mal actually you saw the name Ezra on the phone.
Me, I saw the name Ezra on the phone.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is he part of this? Is this something that Mal would know?
It was when you guys were when Underwood was in the room, Ezra showed up on his phone, but it was during one of your Lasombra freakouts where technology doesn't work around you.
Okay. Mal tracks that, remembers that, as Lev does in this moment, and stops pouting so aggressively in the corner and sort of comes up behind Jackie. They are the same size.
Oh, that's so cute. The two of them standing next to each other. Look at that.
Please.
John.
Sybil, aren't you short too? Why don't you get next to him?
I'm not that short. I'm like 2 inches taller than the both of you.
Look, I don't mean to. I know I've dropped a lot on you. Well, I mean, not as much as Jackie here. When I went under, I was not convinced about any of this, and I think you all knew that. I thought Mokur might have been behind it. He's not. And I believe now. Because there's no other, I don't have any other choice.
I don't know if that's how belief works.
Well, that's how it's working for me.
That sounds forced.
I mean, look, we're glad to have you back. Jackie, you seem kind of cool, though you still got some shit to prove. But we'll use all the help we can get.
Think of me as like a special guest star until I get upgraded to another full status.
Yeah. I
She
say
is
welcome.
funny, I'll admit that.
Welcome for now. We don't have time to really live in forever and eternal life. We're still trying to fix this week.
Sybil's the boss.
Let's just make a promise to each other here and now. You know, things have been a little rocky with us all in the beginning. We're back. We got each other back. We lost some, we gained some. Let's move forward with positivity in mind, you know, synergy, all that shit they talk about in corporations. We can be the new generation.
And with that call to action, and with an awareness that the Lamia being the largest we're looking after, and all our personal qualms in between, we have at least a direction to move in and a full coterie to work with. We'll consider that Jackie has now joined on a temporary guest star basis, and we'll see if we like her enough to bring her up to the full cast. When we meet next session, we will move forward with a lot of our personal stories, see the Midnight Gospel, see what all of our summer vacations have brought for ourselves, and continue the smaller stories that lead to the larger. And perhaps sometime soon, we'll be taking a visit to a snake. Thank you all for being here. Thanks everybody for staying with us. We're going to call it quits on our first session back for season 2. Such a great time being with all of you guys again. I thought you guys
Yeah,
were
that was
great.
fun.
I loved every second.
Amazing.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Same time.
Yeah, we'll be back on the 20th, everybody.
Yep. Same time, same place. Love y'all.
Time, same place.
Yes,
Bye,
thank you.
guys.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all. Love out to everybody.